Welcome back, everybody, to another episode here on the O'Shea Vlogcast channel. I am your host, O'Shea Duke Jackson. Today, we got a big group chat or hangout with some of the black, I would say, conservatives or Trump supporters. You can categorize myself as one of them, kind of moderately. And we want to have an honest conversation tonight about, is it dangerous being a black Donald Trump supporter in America? And I have my good buddy Sub-Zero on for a little bit while we're waiting for HT Logistics and LARMOVEMENT to come on. Before we get to Sub-Zero, I just want to mention there was a situation, and shout out to ABL who covered the story. A guy named Eugene Joseph, who is out of Haiti. Okay, he seems like maybe a Haitian guy, but he's not like an African American. He's definitely black. He walked into a cheesecake factory with a "Make America Great Again" hat. And so it happened on Mother's Day inside Dadeland Mall. And some of the employees started trying to kind of bully him, booing him when he walked by. They approached a table, making comments, wanted to punch him in the face and things of this nature. They're trying to intimidate him and all type of other things. So, and also we know that many blacks support Donald Trump in private. I know I've lost friend requests by being or advocating for the president when he was running for office, and it's a very controversial topic in our black community to talk about Donald Trump or your support or of him. So let me kind of get to a Sub-Zero, man, and thank you for coming on to the show, brother. I know you're busy, man, but I just want you to kind of weigh in on this kind of hate for Donald Trump and and the like.
What I don't like, I'm going to be straight to the point. I feel like black people, when they talk, they almost make it as though it's a foregone conclusion that the most racist, evil president that's ever been in the White House is in. And black people are suffering so much worse now because he's in. And black people, when Obama was in, Trayvon Martin and all those other murders every other week, Eric Garner, that wasn't happening. Now people are more excited now and more racist now because Trump is in, as if I'm like, wait a minute. When Obama was in, you were saying that people are upset because Obama's in. Now Trump is in, you're saying people are even are emboldened because Trump is in. If you're a black man, and not just a black man, if you're black, period, you should be for a guy that's talking about getting rid of the immigration problem in America. Immigration is probably solely the biggest, probably one of the major biggest issues, more so than police. And police, I can't stand the cops. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But that's just how I feel about it. We need law and order, but I'm not a big proponent of, police brutality. But at the same time, black people have to be honest, man. Like these Mexicans that came over here and took all the construction jobs. Construction is all pretty much in Alabama, in Montgomery, where I'm from, is 100% Mexican almost. Mm-hmm. When I was a kid, it was 100% black. That's money that went into our communities. Cities where you got 50% black male unemployment, I bet you them Mexicans ain't 50% unemployed. So they're not our friends. And if I hope he build a wall. I don't have a problem. I'm not a big anti-Trump guy. He does do a lot of dumb stuff, but I mean, I knew that before he got in.
Shout out to CJ Sims, 999. Eastside Gypsy says, I don't think ABL should be in the Negro Manosphere, bro. Shout out to Eastside Gypsy. Guys, thank you for coming in. I am Mara. We're going to do a show tomorrow. He's a brother that's a travel vlogger living in Mexico right now. I'm from Kenya. So he has some great news for you guys tomorrow about going to Colombia. Let me kind of talk about this because it's almost taboo now. I mean, I support the GOP, not because I don't think the GOP is not like racist or anything like that. But I think there's problems with both parties. But again, for me, hey, the GOP free the slaves. That's a big enough thing for me. And the GOP is for entrepreneurship. They're for big business. They're not for bailing people out as much as Democrats are. And I don't understand. The Democratic Party and those politicians who support those Democrats have tore up the black community. But there's so much hate for Donald Trump. when there should be that same hate towards Democrats. It seems like he dropped off. So guys, let me just see who's coming on if he comes back. And it seems like he just dropped off real quick, but I'll just say this. Does Donald Trump make a whole lot of mistakes? Oh, yes. All right. And here's the thing, guys. This is not about kissing Donald Trump's ass. Okay. This is not about even trying to tell you who you need to vote for or anything like that. You know, in so many words, because you're going to vote for who you want. You're a man. And you know, black men are not kids or anything like that. But what I will urge you to do is I will urge you to look at your communities and your situations where you are prior to Donald Trump. Okay. I just want you to do that. And understand that Donald Trump historically, it was never your problem. Okay. Black men were being discriminated against and being, you know, arrested by the police before he came in office. Okay. In fact, Bill Clinton in his crime bill increased the number of police. All right. And increased the number of police in your neighborhoods, took away a lot of government programs, made it if you're a black man with a drug conviction, you can't apply for financial aid. The Democrats have really stuck it to the brothers. They've really stuck it to black men. Many African-American women are Democrats, and Democrats put black women in a position where they're going to be over you. Child support is going to be regulated. They're not only doing that, they're trying to take it to South American countries and things of this nature. So we got to understand that the problems that we had prior to Donald Trump being president are not his fault. And we're back with that subject. What were you saying, brother?
No, that was the main thing. I just feel like when it comes to immigration, if he just does that one thing alone, right, that would actually probably lower black unemployment. Even, I mean, it's already low, but you know, we don't want to get into how it got there or whatever. But just it would lower black unemployment in a lot of areas, man, like, you know, where black men aren't really working. Mm-hmm. I just think, man, if you black and you a man, you really have no reason to align yourself with the Democrat Party. They're not promising, they're not even mentioning your name anymore. They're not even saying black male. That's it. They're not, I'm just sorry, just when I hear people talk, it's like everything apart from, and I'll give him credit for this, Obama did do something about the prison reform and stuff like that. I will give him that. Apart from that, Obama ignored black people altogether. He just did. So I don't see why we should align ourselves with a party that doesn't benefit black men. I mean, even if the Republicans did everything they wanted to come true, came true, and they cut all of the social programs, it would benefit the black family in ways we wouldn't even be able to imagine.
Let me just say this real quick. Shout out to the longest supporter I have on either channel. That is Kamala80. Whenever I see him, I always want to acknowledge him. The brother's been following me since I had like 200 subscribers, right? So him and Wake the Hell Up are like the longest people that have been sticking with me that never unsubscribed. Thank you, brother, for just being there, man. I appreciate you. So whenever I see him, I always acknowledge him for that. This is what I want to talk about, because a lot of us black men, as you're saying, we're doing the best that we can to try to educate our own group, which are African-American men, are those men who are, you know, Jamaican Americans or whatever, because we have, you know, we're all mixed in, you know, as black men American. Once you become an American, you're now a black man. Okay. What we want to know is this: why is there so much hate against Donald Trump when, you know, 10 years ago everybody loved him? Why do you think there's been a shift?
I think they hate Donald Trump. Anybody that gets the Republican nod is going to be pegged as the racist, not the Democrats. The Democrats can damn near call you nigger to your face, insult you in your face when you come and start speaking with broken English, and it's not looked at as an insult by the black community. That speaks volumes. So to me, I think black people are politically as advanced as a 2-year-old. And I got my son sitting in my lap. They're about as advanced as he is. When it comes to politics, Black people are not complex, and people literally disrespect us by the things they say. I find it insulting when you come to me and you think without asking, the first thing you think I'm concerned about is Section 8 welfare and food stamps. Whenever they talk to the Black community, those are the things they assume that I care about. I'm a Black man. I make decent money. I don't give a damn about no Section 8 food stamps and welfare. How about reparations? How about, Black business loans for the descendants of slaves? Right. Things that are going to empower us. If you're not going to talk about Black empowerment, I ain't got no respect for you.
Right. I definitely agree with that. Let me do this all day page. I will listen to Black Men Are Sleeping Giants always. And thank you so much all day for this. And brothers, before we get to Big Chris, I did do a travel video on how to go to Brazil. It's some great gems in there, some great contacts. We worked really hard on the video. Make sure you watch that video. It's a very good and well thought out video to make your trips to Brazil more easier and more efficient, save you a lot of money. So make sure you check that out on the channel. And I have my buddy, man, HT Logistics Trucking channel. You guys know him. Over 15,000 subscribers, man. He's an awesome traveler and a truck channel. He's in the Philippines right now, taking a vacation. What up, Big Chris?
What's going on?
Man, I'm just trying to be rich like you, player. You need to loan me some of that big money you're getting over there. All right. Let me ask you this. And now I know that you are, a trucker. Shout out to Casper 78694. Shout out to the bro. I saw him earlier on Alpha Male Strategies channel. Bro, let me ask you this. Are you a person that supports Donald Trump?
In some things, yeah, and other things I'm neutral. But because I'm more conservative, we tend to lean towards Republican Party.
Why do you tend to lean towards the Republican Party?
They seem to have more values. As far as when you think of a conservative, you think of conservative as somebody that wants to work for a living, somebody that wants to climb up, whether it be in the corporate world, self-owned business, all that. You want to empower yourself from yourself. And it seems like with the liberal side, I'm not saying all, but it seems like on the left side, they seem to want to take that away from you, like the drive to do that.
No, that's exactly what it is. Did you vote? I mean, did you share any indication that you wanted to vote for Donald Trump publicly or anything like that?
I had no problem with it. I mean, I think we all, that's why it's America. We can literally vote for who we want. We have our own opinion. And Trump, and, because a lot of people, they might come sideways about what I think, but you got to remember, Trump was saying a lot of good things for the trucking industry. That's why I lean towards him. Mm-hmm. It wasn't specifically because he was Republican. No, it was a lot of regulation, because Trump is about deregulating things. He loves trying to deregulate things. So when he talked about helping the trucking industry, I was like, okay, well, this is somebody to roll with, just like Mitt Romney. Back when Mitt Romney was going to run and he was, competing against Obama, same thing. He was also about deregulating stuff, even though he was kind of wishy-washy back and forth. But that's just for my best interest. I just vote for who's ever in my best interest, and the left side, unfortunately, never is in my best interest. So.
Okay. Now let me kind of say this real quick. As far as I'm not like a huge political think tank guy or anything like that. But here's what I know about Democratic liberals, at least on the Black side. Democrats, liberals continuously are trying to keep people dependent on big government. Let us keep bailing out people from making their bad decisions, whether it's giving money to people who keep having single mothers, or let's supply food for stuff like that. As a taxpayer, right? Because I'm in medical school and I got to pay a lot of taxes from the little money I made last year. I would want to see my taxes go towards things that are going to help elevate the country in other ways. Let's improve education. Let's improve the roads. Because even though we're a first world country, in some places our roads are not as bad. It's undeveloped. Let's improve, healthcare. These things, I feel that government should be taking more of an initiative towards taxes. And conservatives are more of pulling people off of the government. Let's have, more people supporting themselves, more people supporting their families, and then the money that's coming in from taxes, we can use that to let's lower education. Let's get better healthcare, make it more affordable. Once we have all these people that we are taking care of who keep making bad decisions and don't want to get off their ass and do things, that actually hurts the country. And the left is all about keeping people on that plantation. And, what ends up happening as black men is as we were working and trying to do our things, we're financing people who actually shouldn't be financed. They're getting it, especially immigrants, because we all know this. And Sub-Zero made the point. When these immigrants come for green cards or whatever, who's taking care of those people? It comes out of your tax money,
Exactly.
And these guys don't come over with any skill sets. I can see, here's the thing about living in Poland or living in Uganda or someplace like that. If you decide you want to move to Uganda or you want to move to Brazil, guess what? The Brazilian government is not going to take care of you. Uganda is not going to take care of you. You better come there with your own money and you better find a fucking way to survive there or it's your ass. When people come to America, they don't come to America looking to bring their own money and to survive, usually. They're coming to America for a handout. They're coming because they can't make it in their countries, and they're coming over here with their hands out, and they're getting loans, and they're able to get into the medical system and take jobs from people. Like he said, this is a big problem. And when a guy like Donald Trump says no to all of that, I don't give a fuck what he says on Twitter. I don't care I don't give a fuck what he's doing. The fact that he's saying that, hello, that's what I'm talking about. Let me just do this real quick. Shout out to my man, Nick, King Nick. What up, fellas, man? Good brother. I got to get him on for an interview, brothers. He's from the UK, I think, initially, but he's living in Atlanta right now. Let's go to Sub-Zero. Did you publicly support Trump with people, or did you express that when you were doing so? Sub-Zero, you still there? Okay, I think he's still on.
I did want to, if I can, I wanted to add to what you said about handouts and stuff like that. And that's why I've always had a problem, my whole adult life with.
I'm here, man, just in case. I'm still here. I was trying to unmute. Sorry.
Okay. Let's let HT finish this point real quick, Sub-Zero, and then you can go ahead, Sub-Zero. Not Sub-Zero.
I was just saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying that the only problem I've always had with the left is that I feel like when you said the plantation, or I call it crippling people, that's one thing I always disagree with them. I feel like, having a hand up is the way to go, not having a handout, but people, they get these handouts and it's like they just want to retire. Like I lived in low-income housing for almost 10 years. But when I first went in there, I was completely opposite of what I am today. I actually did what the system's designed to do. It's designed to help a young, person who's struggling, who's working, but you progress and then you get out. That's what I did. But when I was there was people living in that building for over 20-something years, still doing the same thing. So it seems like the left, they have this mentality of, like you said, with the plantation, but also that life is everything should be fair, and I just don't agree with that. That's always one thing I had a problem with the left.
Okay, let me go. That's a great point. Let's go to Sub-Zero real quick.
I think, just to piggyback on his last point, I think that liberals tend to want to guarantee outcome. Whereas conservatives tend to want to guarantee opportunity, or at least that's what they say. I mean, I'm not going to acknowledge or not acknowledge that the Republican Party, if they really wanted the black vote, they could have it. I think they don't really care right now. I think they feel, okay, we can win elections right now. We don't necessarily need them. When they get to the point where they feel as though, okay, I can go after the black vote because it's time. They'll quickly come to the table with what they really need to come to the table with. I just, as far as me supporting Donald Trump, look, man, I used to be a card carrying Republican. I was actually a member of the RNC. Like, I actually joined the RNC back in like 04, 03. I was staunch Republican. Like, I didn't have no problem with it. And I used to listen to Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh all day because I had my own mobile car wash, so I would listen to those guys all day, and I would be able to spew these, talking points. And then I got away from that, and I just started looking at, man, when it comes to black issues, they kind of ignore a lot of big issues. So that's where I kind of separate. But as a whole, if I had to choose, I would definitely choose Republican over Democrat. I mean, that's just, it's not even close. Like, when Mitt Romney made that point about 50% of the country thinks they're victims, that didn't hurt my feelings.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It didn't even bother. Like, a lot of black people were on Facebook. I'm not a victim. My family is on Section 8. My auntie, and I'm like, your ass wasn't gonna vote for him anyway. Don't act like that's why you didn't vote for him because they dropped that video. Black people got a Willie Lynch chip in them. They not gonna give up that Democrat plantation. I know people don't like to hear that. I'm not saying come vote Republican by no stretch, but let's not act as though they don't keep you poked and prodded on the Democrat plantation. Like, come on, man. Like, black people, like, for example, Kanye West made a couple of points first before he even talked about the slavery comment. Kanye West said he liked Donald Trump. Rappers came out threatening to do bodily harm to him for supporting Trump. Do you think it would have been any different if it had been Bush? No, it'd have been the exact same. Anytime a black person dares to not support the Democrat Party, black people threaten. I mean, I've seen black people scream. Like, I had back in 2004, I had a Bush sticker on my van, right? When I used to wash cars, I used to go out on white side of town and do cars. They didn't care. But I lived in the hood because at the time I was still staying at home. And one time I went into this community, man, and it was a black neighborhood, and somebody rolled by and screamed, "Uncle Tom ass nigga," and then just threw a brick into my van and bust my window out, which I replaced it. But the fact that somebody got upset because they saw a Bush sticker on my truck, like, wow. Black people, I mean, I'm sorry, like, just and that type of mindset is prevalent in the black community. Like, the guy you said, I didn't even know. I heard that they picked on the guy because he wore a hat. I didn't really watch any videos or something, but that's us, man. That sounds like us. Like, we will threaten you physically if you don't vote Democrat. And I just, for the life of me, can't understand why there's so much loyalty when, I mean, if you even with the party switch, I just, I don't want to get into that because I saw you guys got into it about that last week. But, I went and looked up the number of people that really switch parties. I'm from Montgomery, Alabama. Governor Wallace, the guy that said segregation now to tomorrow and forever, that guy, we voted him into 1986. Black people did. Like, in Mississippi, it was the same. So black people voted. We didn't have a problem supporting racist people back in it. That's just real. We was doing it during the Great Depression. We were supporting Democrats, and this guy was so racist he didn't even want to have a black cabinet. FDR had to convince him to do that. Eleanor Roosevelt convinced him to get the black cabinet, and that's where. But this guy was overtly racist as well. Like, it wasn't like, so black people have been voting for them since the 30s. So it's nothing, man. Like, I honestly don't think we have critical thinking skills when it comes to politics. I just don't. Let me. Hey, I'm out, man. I got to go and do class, man.
Okay, man. Thanks for stopping by, man. And we got LAR movement still moving. Hey, I told shout out to LAR. I told him that I use his name for views and shit. He said, "How many views? 17?" So, the man of the hour has arrived, y'all. Okay, like, even if he ain't on the show, I'll put his name up there. So, you know what I mean. So everybody will know that who is this nigga. So shout out to LAR movement, man. I'm not gonna ask you who you voted for because I don't even know who you voted for. Nigga, who did you vote for?
When?
This last
the presidential election?
Yeah.
I voted for Hillary. I wanted it to all crash and burn.
Oh God.
I wanted everybody to lose their mind simultaneously. But it didn't work out that way.
Let me do this. Shout out to Marcus Love. He donated. We need a black political party to push out the black political agenda. Again, let me shout out to my brother CJ Sims. He also donated. If anybody is a black Trump supporter tonight and you want to get on the show and talk about how you've been, attacked because you're Trump. So I'll do this. If you comment that you are a Trump supporter and you want to talk tonight, I'll get you on to the show. But let's talk about, do you think, as far as it being dangerous to be a Donald Trump supporter right now, well, what do you think about that?
I think it's stupid. Like, if you really gonna fight somebody over who they support? But this is America. This is what people do. This is what people have been doing. Mm-hmm. They've had that angst towards every president. It really doesn't matter who's in office. So if you support them, at some point, people gonna hate you. Fighting somebody because they support Trump is ridiculous. Why don't you just vote at your local elections and change your neighborhood? How about that?
But what I want to know is what is it about Donald Trump that they hate so much?
The white liberal has told program nigga do it. That's just.
Oh, you came back.
The white liberal tells you. The white tell their masters, tell them, hey man, you got to hate this nigga. He racist. You got to hate Trump. You got to go out. You got to march. You got to protest Trump. That's why the media don't like Trump.
I think the media,
Fox News don't like him. A lot of Fox News people don't like him. Trump is not liked by a lot of people. Me, I used to flip houses, right? This is the way I always looked at it. If I come from the hood and I'm trying to flip a house and I make $20,000 off a house, I don't feel like I owe the government. The government is a 30% partner in that deal because of Barack Hussein Obama. When Bush was in there, the government was a 15% partner because it's capital gains. So to me, I don't think that's fair. Me trying to climb my way out the hole, I want that damn obstacle as low as possible. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of black people don't ever think they're ever going to have to pay capital gains. I'm never going to be rich. I had a friend tell me, you ain't going to ever make over six figures. So why are you worrying about it? This is the type of fuckery that we have going on in the black community. A lot of us don't ever think we're going to make that kind of money. So when that Joe the Plumber situation was happening, when he said socialism and all that, a lot of black people got mad about that. But in my mind, I was like, well, shit, I've made that kind of money before. I've made a lot of money. So for me, I won't lower taxes. And I employed black people. We don't think like that. I said, man, you paying 30% of my money. If I make $600,000 and I got to pay $180,000 to the government instead of, $90,000 to the government, which one would be easier? How many more concerts could I throw? How many more, businesses could I run if I actually paid a lower tax rate? Everybody that's wealthy ain't selfish. Everybody, wealthy people took risk. I took risk. Where were you? You trying to beat the government into taking my money. Where were you when I started my business? Did you give me something? Did you write a check to me? You ain't do shit. So I got to go. Class got to start. Y'all have a good day.
He said he had to go. Then came back. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say what he just said though was a very strong point, and I want to say this old expression: "A poor man never gave me a job." Ooh. That's all I want to say. So that's why when people get mad about these rich people doing all these things, okay, but when was the last time a poor man gave you a job? So
this is really about. Is this really about race or economics?
I think it's a mix
of both.
It seems to be both, but I think it's more economics, especially with the left side.
Oh, well, damn. Okay, fine.
Oh, actually, just real quick. I want to say too. I think I think a lot of reasons why people don't like Trump is because they look at him like a clown. They don't take him serious because of his history, in the entertainment world and all that. I think that's mainly. Yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with being Republican or conservative. I think it's just him as a person. How can you take someone who several years ago or decades ago he was liberal, but now he's this?
Yeah.
And then, what I'm saying? It's kind of like they were doing with Mitt Romney. Well, this guy's back and forth. Before he said he just wants to be president. Now he's saying he cares. Now he's, what I'm saying? They just look at him as a person, as a clown. That's why they seem to dislike him.
Okay, well, we've since I'm up and I'm ready to go now.
Go
ahead.
The thing about Trump, I'm the racist history aside, forget that part. He is a clown. And the problem with being a clown is people who support you going to be looked at as clowns too. But I think politically, how much can his supporters stand on that he's done?
Well, I can say this. From what I have known, the economy is doing better than it was last year. That's good. He is going to cut a lot of stuff from single chicks and other things. I would say, Glennon did make a great point, Cameron, that he has like more turnover in his cabinet than George Bush and Obama did in 8 years. So, absolutely, he doesn't know what he's doing in certain aspects. That is true. I think what most Americans are saying, and black male support has increased for Donald Trump, right? So, I can't say he's done so many great things, but we can point to the economy and say that the economy is much better now, or better at least than it was when Obama had it. So we can point to that. But what I want to ask is this though, real quick. This guy says, what is he doing for hood niggas though? I think we got, are you serious? So let's talk about that, right? Because here's the issue that I have with like black Americans, our people. We always come to the political table, and John F. Kennedy, although he was a snake in certain aspects, he made this statement, I think it was on the line of, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. That I agree with. I think here's a problem with a lot of black Americans. We are the least patriotic group. And I understand why we are the least patriotic group, because historically, we have been, taken advantage of. We have been abused, stuff like this. But we got to be also understanding of this is the only place that we can call home. We can't go back to Africa. At least we ain't gonna get no Ghanaian passport for real. Nobody's saying come to Africa and we'll give you a passport because you're black. Ghana's not doing it. Okay. It takes a lot of work for you to even do that. Nigeria's not doing that. America's the only place that we have. This is where we are at. Okay. There's nobody else that's gonna let you come on and say, oh, you're black. Okay, you're a citizen of this country. It doesn't work that way. Here's what we need to understand. Black people who do not want to be patriotic because the United States is your country, we always feel, because of what has happened to us in years past, oh, what are you going to do for me? Like, even if we don't vote for this president, we want the hookup from the president. You talk shit about Donald Trump. You didn't want to vote for the man, middle white America. And I think really black people, I would say y'all are the reason why he won, because some of y'all said, I don't give a fuck about Hillary. I don't give a fuck about Trump. So I'm not even going to vote. So you stayed home and didn't vote. And then Trump becomes the president. Okay. Then what you start to say is, what is Donald Trump going to do for me? Nigga, what is he supposed to do for you? Why should he do something for you? You didn't vote for him. You know what I'm saying? So, I this nigga don't even live in USA. I'm a United States citizen, motherfucker. Like, I pay taxes still. I pay more taxes than you do. I'm pretty sure of that. Okay? Well, what I'm doing, I'll probably make more money than you and pay more taxes than you do, and I ain't even fucking there. So I still pay taxes. Whether I'm not in the country or not, I'm still probably paying more taxes than you are. You watch me, I don't watch you. So let's not get it twisted, nigga. I pay taxes every fucking year. So I want to ask, let's start off with you, LAR. What about these brothers who feel like, oh, Donald Trump is supposed to do something for the black community when the black community doesn't endorse him? What do you think about that? Is he still there?
I don't know.
All right, go ahead, Big Chris, because why he freezing up and shit.
Well, I think black people need to be focused more on doing something for themselves.
Okay.
But as far as them not wanting to endorse Trump, but expecting, him to do stuff for the black community, don't that sound like a typical black person? I'm not gonna support you, but hey, you're supposed to be helping us out. That's already why we have such a messed up mentality. Right. With our particular foundation of thinking. But that's all I tell people. That's why on my YouTube channel, I try my best to encourage people to go out on their own, make something for themselves. Because the number one complaint I get, I don't make enough money. I'm tired of working here. I'm tired of dealing with these people. Well, I think it's time for you to get your own thing, man. And I think that's. I don't know. That's him.
Wait, he's on both of them. I just muted the other one. So he's on both of them. I just sent Edward a link. So just take yourself off whichever profile you want to get on LAR, because you're on two profiles right now, it looks like, on the Hangout. But keep going, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, mainly to sum it all up, I think that we need to quit asking about people wanting to do things for the black community. I think we should just disregard that. We need to be focused as ourselves in the black community. What can we do for each other? What can we do for ourselves? Start there. Stop worrying about these politics, helping the black kids. A lot of, especially with black activists, that's all they talk about. Well, that president, he don't care about you. Well, if you don't care about yourself, then what difference it make? You don't even care about yourself. You still let the community terrorize itself. You guys don't fight against drugs and guns in your neighborhood, but you want these supposedly white supremacists, y'all call them, and all that stuff like that come in here and take care of y'all. Like I said, at the end of the day, ain't nobody gonna take care of yourself better than yourself. So let's focus on that.
Okay. Let me do this. Let me shout out to some of the brothers, man, that come in here. My man Ron Eccles. Wow, he says something very important. If blacks embraced America and took advantage over all the opportunities before them, their lives would change.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to talk about that also. Brother Eccles, thank you for your donation, especially as black men. It's something we got to talk about. My man, I believe he's out of Japan, Evan Moore. He came through with the 10,000 Japanese yen, and he always does this, man. His brother is a good brother. He's somewhere in which is $90, right? He come and make it rain. He says, I will never respect bullies and hate traffickers. Why would I respect Trump because he is president? If I do, what does that say about me? We'll talk about that. Is the president worth respecting? Okay. And Rashawn Williams, O'Shea dropping gems. Salute, bro. $20. These are niggas getting yen in this house. So, guys, we got black men all across different places. Shout out to brother Antoine Wade in Malaysia. If he listens to this, man, I gotta get it to your email, man. I don't know. I thought I responded to it, but I need to get to it. So, shout out to you, brother. Let me kind of go to this. I want to talk about this real quick. LAR. Is Donald Trump taking away black opportunities? Because brother Ron Eccles, he showed up here with the Apollo Creed rocky body, and he's ready for you niggas in that 50 Cent shit. You know what I'm saying? Nigga been working out. Do you think that Donald Trump and the GOP, are they trying to limit African American opportunities right now?
I think that's part of American history, always trying to limit our opportunities. It really don't matter which administration is in office. Okay. I think we as a people need to stop acting like that's not the case. Okay. We need to do for self. Okay. Well, we have to use politics as a way to get what we want, like everybody else uses politics as a way to get what they want. Okay. So, are we limited? When I was a kid, they was talking about the same unemployment rates, the same racism, the same stuff. So if nothing has changed in 30 plus years, and if you read the history book, it didn't change that much 100 years prior to that, we know what's going on. You know,
Edward, mute yourself, Edward.
I mean, as far as the president and his cabinet is concerned, for me, I separate conservative values from Trump because he's the candidate. I'm not necessarily. I was never sold on you can't be liberal one day and conservative the next and run on. And he's too wishy-washy. Like he's always been an opportunist. So I don't really know where his values actually lie, except for money. You know, and I think our community needs to take to look at conservative values in a way of the economic part of it, because that's what we lacking. Mm-hmm. Every time you hear conservative or you hear Republican, the first thing that pops in your head is racist. But when people are talking actually economic plans that could actually help you, you tuned out. So, but I don't think that's Trump's thing. So it is what it is.
Okay, but what I want to know is this. Let's look at African American men, right? We know historically the country's been, we have been discriminated against. But right now, you have more educated African American men than ever. You have more African American men that have more money than ever in this country, right? Under quote unquote the most racist president ever. I mean, just look at the super chats right now. Let's stop the show. You guys come in here every fucking day, right? You guys see the super chats are just like this every single day. So, go look at Patreon, go look at Alpha Male Strategies Patreon. Look, brothers got money, okay? Black guys in Nigeria, they can't do this. Guys in Ghana, they can't do this. Big Chris is in the Philippines right now for a month, making $5,000 a week. LAR movement won't let me trick on him to go to the Dominican Republic for a week. He said he ain't gonna do it. I just came back from Brazil. Carlos Jean being here 1914 all the time on the super chats, like every damn day. We got money.
Right.
It ain't like we some broke niggas. We can make fucking moves, bro. Like we're like some of the most richest, smartest, educated black men on planet Earth. So how are we doing that in the time of the racist president in the world, which is Donald Trump? Like
I don't think we count Donald Trump yet.
Okay.
Because he's only been in a year and a half, year and 8 months, some shit like that.
Okay.
So I think people economically, you got, Reagan dope boy money. Okay. Then you got Bush dope boy before you get caught money. Then you got Clinton when they had the economic boom money. Then you got Bush, Bush, the economy was all right under the second Bush until after the wars, but you still got people who made money then, and then you had people who made money during Obama. So we're looking at 25, 30 years worth of different types of people who can do something. Okay. I don't think we counting Trump right now. I really don't. Because when you talk about new money, I think most of those people are 5, 10, 15, 20 years back.
Okay.
So that's the issue, I think. Maybe wrong.
Okay, let me do the shout out to my boy Connections again. Shout out to my boy I Am Mara, FM Moore. $20, homie. We can be conservative about supporting Trump. Team Pound. We got money. Listen, I actually agree. What do you actually stop the show? What do you do? Because you do this all the time, nigga. Hire me, okay? Shit, nigga, I will crib walk for some change. You and Big Chris with all this Asian money, nigga. Let me get to the brother Edward Anderson. You guys know we are going to have who is the most long-winded person in the Negro manosphere. Edward Anderson is going to be the running candidate for that contest. This nigga can talk. So make sure you get your ears ready because it's going to be about a 10-minute rant. Shout out to brother Edward in the motherfucking building. What's up, dog?
Yeah, what's up, man? I mean, niggas that don't know how to shut the hell up anonymous. My name is Edward, and I do have... So, yeah, I've always had that issue, man. Even when I was in the 3rd grade, man, my teacher used to write, and that had me get my ass beat a couple of times, man. Talk. When you make them comments, and I was like, man, boy, I got a good ass with that. I swear I did. But anyway, this is a really good topic. I mean, when it comes to politics, you know, as Black people, we are very emotional people, a lot more emotional we should be. A lot of that is a product of the matriarchy, and a lot of that is also a product is I feel like we don't understand what politics is for. First of all, shout out to everybody on the panel. O'Shea, thanks for having me. LAR, you're absolutely correct. You cannot give Trump credit for what's going on in the economy today. The American economy is the largest economy outside of China. The economy and the economy the it doesn't move that fast. You can't turn it that fast for like to say Trump give credit to Trump for what's going on, because if shit was going downhill, I promise you he would not be taking credit for the bad stuff that's going on. And also the media doesn't really showcase everything that's really going on either. The media actually gives him a lot of room because they focus you on a reality show that is Trump, like the cabinet and stuff like that, and not some of the economic stuff, you know. I mean, hell, we're not even really deep into this trade war thing to be really trying to give him credit and stuff. As far as how Black people are doing, I mean, if you start looking at what Black people did under certain presidents, I mean, the president doesn't really change the policies that affect Black people like that. A lot of that has to do with Congress, and a lot of that, like, it's a lot of different stuff. I mean, it even when you look at Obama, how when Black people were lost a lot of wealth, Black people lost a lot of wealth because of what happened in 2008, and we were so dumb that we thought it was cool to get a house with an adjustable rate mortgage. You had people moving mortgages over leveraging themselves. I can go in on that stuff, but you can't give Trump that credit. Another thing I wanted to touch on too, real quick, is this idea that Black people are not the most patriarchal. I actually disagree. I actually think Black people, when it comes down to it, is the most patriarchal group outside of white people. In many ways, we're more patriarchal than whites, because even whites, when the country isn't working for them, they will go to civil war in the country. They have demonstrated this. They still wave the flag of the Confederate Army, which is a fuck you to the Union, which is the marriage of the United States of America, and they call that culture. And other whites tolerate it because they understand it. That's kind of like code for white supremacy. They interchange with the flag as well as the American flag, so they kind of let that go because they're white. But if that would have been anybody else doing that, they wouldn't tolerate that. As much as Black people have gone through in this country, we're still 17% of the military, which is a lot more of a percentage than any other group other than white people. We have fought and died for these wars. We continue to do so, and then we don't even vote like we should. So we pretty much let America go on autopilot. Another thing I'll say and end it with that is you got to think of what Black people haven't done. Black people are not terrorists. We're not blowing shit up, shooting the government. Even the Black Panthers didn't even do that. All they did was buy guns and show that we'll defend ourselves. We didn't do what, like, you know, you see Timothy McVeigh and all these shooters are doing. So when you look at what we did to contribute to the equity of this country in the form of slavery, in the form of transfer of wealth of Jim Crow, in the form of money we made for a lot of people when it comes to the drug era, I'd argue we got a lot of stuff to bitch about. Our problem is we don't know how to organize power because we expect white folks to teach us how to compete with them. And that's our problem. They're never going to give us the keys to be able to compete with them in any real way, even lower class whites.
Let me say this real quick. I'm not talking about those blacks, because, you know, obviously we are in the military, we are on police force, stuff like that. That I would never disagree with you about. Here's what I'm saying: the complaints, those who are anti-America, those are the blacks who are, I would say, unpatriotic. We are in the middle of those conversations where we're like, fuck America, fuck voting. We have to understand there are a lot of blacks who are more so like that than whites because of the situations that blacks have had in America. So we do have a lot of blacks who are patriotic, absolutely, and then we have a lot of blacks who are unpatriotic. And that is what we're talking about right now. Those blacks who don't vote, okay? And if we look at the blacks who didn't vote for Donald Trump, those blacks say, okay, at all, we don't want to vote, yet what are you going to do for me? Because that is being unpatriotic. And we do have a lot of blacks who are on that particular side. They want the benefits of being a U.S. citizen, but they're not proud to be from the United States. And I definitely understand it. I get it. Once you live in another country, I think that's when you really understand it. But you're right. Blacks are very, very active in the military. We're very active in forms of government, stuff like that. Let me just do this. Shout out to the brother Dante Ortiz. We are victims of being forced to embrace the culture and live in a society where we are not supposed to be accepted. Obtaining wealth is difficult but not impossible if you follow the script, so to speak. That's a good point. Let me do this. I'm gonna go to his point. And guys, if you have questions or something you want the panel to talk about, we can do that. Let me go back to Big Chris. And let's talk about Evan Moore. He makes a statement that's kind of powerful as a black man. Okay. He says, you know, I don't respect Trump at times, right? And I want to talk about Glennon Cameron. Glennon Cameron came on my show yesterday. Anthony Brian Logan was in the chat. Glennon Cameron, when he comes on here, always gives a great fucking show. Got a great chemistry. Glennon was on, Glennon's a millionaire guy. ABL had man, he was like, preach. We're talking about dating, talking about business, preach. Glennon started talking about he didn't like Donald Trump. ABL was like ashamed. Okay. It's like the mention that you mentioned that you support Donald Trump or hate Donald Trump, that can sever a black man's relationship with somebody just right there. When you start talking about Trump, you guys can be in completely agreement about everything. When you talk about the president, the shit goes to pieces. So let's talk about this, Big Chris. Can these brothers get along without, a Trump supporting black man, a non-supporting black man, still be conservative and still move the black male agenda, or at least get the black male agenda going in the United States without, coming to fisticuffs over who's the president?
I believe we can, but I guess it goes back to who you're talking to, because back home, you know what I'm saying, I got some brothers that, I'm cool with, trucking brothers that I'm cool with, and they totally disagree with my outlook on conservative views and Trump. But we still get along. I just think it depends on who you talk to, because I've gotten into I'll say debates, I ain't gonna say arguments, debates with brothers too that think, like I said before, Trump is a clown. They say, how could you support him, or how could you like him? This man don't know nothing, and whoop-de-woo, and and I don't know. Everybody looks at him like a pseudo-clan racist too. That's the first thing they bring up. This guy's a racist. So I guess it depends on who you talk to. I believe, though, we can get along, because at the end of the day, it is just an opinion. You have your opinion on our president, I have my opinion on our president, but that shouldn't have nothing to do with us brothers sticking together, wanting to progress forward together. That shouldn't have nothing to do with it.
Let's talk about that again real quick. I'm gonna come back to you, Big Chris, because we do have a lot of black men that, let's say, follow me, right, and are subscribed to my channel or your channel, because you have a 15,000 subscriber channel. But those brothers are, when it comes to game picking up chicks, no problem. When it comes to these black chicks ain't this or that, no problem. But we kind of have an issue where we talk about politics, although it seems like black men want the same things 99% of the time. We black men are more conservative just in general, I think. But I'll say this. Charles Tyler, you guys know who Charles Tyler was. Charles Tyler, rest in peace, hated Donald Trump. I'm talking about, guys, if you know Charles Tyler, he hated Donald Trump. He hated him. Could not stand him. Me and Charles Tyler, I was on the opposite end of the spectrum. I like Donald Trump. Did he say dumbass shit? Yes. I think that's what he needs. We need a red pill kind of president to get some of this feminism bullshit out of there. But Charles Tyler hated Donald Trump. Me and him, though, I was able to respect his opinion. I never talked to him about that, because what he was doing and what I'm trying to do is more important than that. Now I've named my awards after him, on NegroMansfer.com. So, let's talk about the Democratic brothers and the Republican brothers. How can we start to kind of, come together on our issues without being so upset?
Can I get that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Appreciate it. We need to understand that us as black men come before political parties. It's not the other way around. And we also need to take into consideration that are we really half of the time we're having political arguments, we're not even arguing about a stance that we as a collective have because we don't have one.
Say it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Like we're not arguing about a collective stance that we have because we don't have one. We're just arguing. Like the one thing we could do politically, seriously, like personally, I'm gonna make it like a sports reference. I want to see some stats. So let me see the numbers. If somebody's doing a good job, it's out there. If they're doing a bad job, it's out there. If they're a Democrat and they fucking up, say, look, the numbers don't lie, you fucking up. If they're a Republican and they fucking up, say the numbers don't lie and you fucking up. Stop hitching yourself to these parties as if, because what you're doing is on both sides, we simping for parties. Because both Democrat and Republican or liberal or conservative side can point to each other and say, this is what they doing to you, and this is making your ass look stupid.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, you know what, that is what they doing on that side, you say, well, you point the other finger. And it's like, well, damn, so both of y'all just gonna get played? Because y'all got y'all flag in the sand? Like, what if we need to come together, we need to say whether it's liberal or conservative, Republican or Democrat, independent, I don't give a shit.
Right.
What is our agenda? Because last time I checked, when Obama was in office and now that Trump's in office, these other communities, they have a collective agenda. They know what they're trying to figure out is, can they get part of their agenda through or not?
Exactly.
We just sitting there talking about, I don't like your side, and I don't like your side.
Exactly.
I gotta agree with that, brother, because that's one thing I always said when I do talk to different brothers. That's one thing I always say. We kind of come to neutral. We see flaws on both sides. That's why we're more inclined to want to work together. You know what I'm saying? He might have like a Democratic view, I might have, or a liberal view, and I might have a conservative view, but we both see the flaws on each side and we're willing to meet in the middle. If only we could do this on a bigger picture. You know what I'm saying? But I agree with that, brother, on that one.
Okay. Who wanted to weigh in on something? Go ahead. Is that you, Edward?
Yeah, let me weigh in on this real quick. LAR is absolutely right. Part of the problem is we've been socialized. It's how we've been socialized. If you go to other countries, most countries don't have the same kind of political system we have in America as far as how it's designed. They have, in the West, they have more of a parliamentary system, meaning, you could have parties like the Tea Party, the Freedom Party, the Green Party, the Libertarian, whatever, right? Even the Black Panther Party. And these parties have certain platforms, and you also have to be invested in the party. Like, if you actually understand how this stuff works, it's actually fascinating. Part of it requires you to pay money into it. It's really cool stuff. The point is, most Black people don't even know that the dude that when Jill Stein ran, the vice president that ran candidate was a Black man. I forget his last name. It's like Baraka. And this was like a first black dude, not no Obama safe Negro Black dude. Most Black people don't even know that because they're not going to tell you that, because they're not invested in telling you that. Because they want you to vote through the duopoly system. They also don't tell you that a lot of these people switch back and forth for a reason. White folks know the game. White folks know that we have an agreement that it's going to be white people to cut this damn pie. But people that's got always talk about Jews, as far as I'm concerned, I consider white Jews white too. They like, we know who's going to cut the pie between us and everybody else. We're going to make them pretend, even lower class whites, that we're going to play this game called left and right. Because one point that Glenn and Cameron said that was absolutely spot on, he said this on his Facebook, is he said that a lot of whites will vote against their economic interests, just like, whites, because they see a white face in the office. So they know in their industry it's affecting them, what he's doing, like with the trade war, but they still will vote for Trump because of what that meaning is. And that's the one thing I remember when people were talking about Trump, when you did the brother pill earlier on, but everybody was talking about how Trump made them feel, and they weren't really addressing what was going on. Now, going back to what you said about the situation as far as like brothers, liberals, and Democrats. The point is we got to stop jumping from one plantation to another and start defining ourselves by what white flag we want to carry. Because if you carry because let me be clear here, most black men that's got common, I say this as a Democrat, most black men that's got common sense and is heterosexual are not liberal. Like 90%. They're culturally conservative. They're culturally, they may not call it that, but when you look at our uncles, that's why fucking ABL and Glenn and Cameron could link up, because Glenn and Cameron is like that black uncle that you hear about because he's doing really big things and he come from the barbecue, and you notice the women don't cuss his ass out for some reason, but he acts like a man, and you like, why did they leave him alone? You find out, oh, because he's giving them money for them, you know, on when they need help and stuff. That's people we know. Even Corey Holcomb. Corey Holcomb's more conservative than he is liberal, but we don't understand what liberalism is or conservatism is. We don't know how to divorce this from white folks. When you think of the word conservative, you think of a white person. When you think of the word liberal, y'all ain't gonna tell me y'all don't think about a white person. So we got to start finding out, what do these things mean to black people, and start understanding the agenda. I'll give you a perfect example with ABL, and then I'm done. We were on BGS Ibmore's hangout, and this is one of the ones I stopped through. And Anthony Brown Logan said we can all come together around making money. Sure, because all black people like making money, right? That's what he tried to say. You know how he is being facetious. And and other people were trying to come at him. And I was like, no, I agree with that. So do you believe in group economics is documented by Dr. Claude Anderson? You know what ABL said? What do you mean, race-based economics? That's the problem with ABL, because anything that's seen as black people or black men coming together as a group, he sees that as race-based. You compare that to a guy like Mr. Research, who is also a conservative. Compare that to a guy with Marcus, who is also for a conservative and an avid Trump supporter. Now you start to...
Oh, yeah, he loved Trump, dog. Marcus.
But Marcus understands the difference. You don't hear Marcus say a lot of dumb stuff. You'll hear other people say, because even though Marcus likes Trump, Marcus is not pro-white. And a lot of these guys are pro-white. And they're trying to come here like they not. And this is why we always have friction.
Okay. Hold on. Say it again, because that's something we need to talk about. That's, you opened it. Hey, Dr. Edward. You long-winded motherfucker. But you just brought up some shit that may have turned this podcast upside down. So that's something that we need to talk about. That's a good point. Say that last thing again.
A lot of these folks are pro-white, and they're talking like they're black men, but they're pro-white. I call them fake black conservatives. Another thing I'm gonna say too, real quick, is we got to understand the difference between a black conservative and an anti-democrat. A lot of y'all are anti-democrats and not real conservatives.
Okay.
Can you explain that yourself though? What you consider somebody who is an anti-democrat?
An anti-democrat is somebody that every time you talk to them about why you support conservatism, not even Republican Party, but conservatism, they can only tell you what the Democrats did. These are guys that if you really hammer them home, they'll start talking about the Jews as if Jews, they're not conservative Jews that are in political office today. Eric Cantor was, and then whatever. But they can only talk as to what the Democrats, why to not be Democrat or why to not be liberal. They can never talk about what is to benefit black people from conservatism. But they always want to lean, they 80% of what they say is, well, it's better than the liberals and the Democrats, or they talk about what the Democrats did to the city. The reason why this is bad is because the problem with black people is not that they vote Democrat, because the same habits that black people have when they vote Democrat, if they were to just vote Republican, they would carry those same habits. The problem is we allow the Democratic Party to tell us who to vote for as far as their candidates, and we don't do, for instance, what the Tea Party does, which they submit their own candidates to the Republican Party saying, no, this is the person I want. Fuck your candidate. This is what I want. To the point where the Tea Party turned over the entire Republican Party. That's the difference. We don't tell them, this is the nigga I trust. Bobby Rush. Fuck Obama, like Chicago did. They don't tell us that. So then they move Obama another way. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I want to put that on the table. Go ahead. Is that Chris?
Yeah, I was just gonna say to him, I mean, I like his views and everything, but one thing that I noticed, if when you go back through history, the black majority, we used to be conservative, more conservative anyway, until Dr. King came along. But one thing that you said that I found was really key was understanding the definition. That's why I wanted you to explain what anti-democrat was, because if you look at what black people, working class black people, what they want, obviously it's going to lean more towards conservative. And that could go into religion, as far as we want to, somebody believes in God, obviously goes into, we want to work our way up to be self-employed, possibly, or, in the corporate world, you lean towards community building. This is all conservative. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people think on the liberal side, for some reason, they think that kind of like that Mitt Romney statement of feeling entitled. And when we go back and forth like this, what I don't understand is, wouldn't it benefit people to be more conservative in progression of whatever life they want to live, compared to thinking liberal? Because when I think of a liberal, even though Marcus Love said he thinks of gay dudes, but when I think of liberal, I think of somebody who feels like, you owe me this. I should have this. We should be on even playing field. That's what I think of with liberal.
That's not really what a liberal.
Well, I mean, it's subjective, but here's the thing. Liberals are trying to. Liberal means you're just open to change, right? You're open to, let's say, gay marriage. Yeah, the traditional conservative family. The United States is a Christian nation. Being gay is something that's not in the Bible, right? And it's outside of the family structure. But liberals look at it, this could work. You know what I mean? Our financing, like, let's say you go to Africa, Uganda is a good country, Philippines. The state is not going to take care of, for the most part, women who have out of wedlock births. It's just not what the state's looking to do. You know what I mean? So you have to support that on yourself. But liberals will say, we need to take care of these people. We need to, have funding for these people. So in a way, he's right, but it is subjective to those things. I want to put this on the table. I'm going to go to LAR real quick, and we'll go back around. Black Male Talk, I sent you a link. Clutch, I sent you a link. I don't know if you guys got it. But the Edward was talking about, these black conservatives. And before that, at least, Sub-Zero was talking about the Republican Party could get more of the black vote if they tried. But when you see like black Republicans, I know a lot of guys do not like are conservatives. They don't like Anthony Bryan Logan. They don't like people like the Tree of Logic. Some folks may not like Brandon Tatum, because it seems like the Republican Party, to some people, they get these blacks, Candace Owens, who are really not necessarily black. Like Candace Owens dates nothing but white dudes, right? Rich family, doesn't relate to black culture. Almost all of her fans are white people. You know what I mean? She doesn't talk from like the African-American experience. Kanye West, married to a white chick. He's from the African-American experience, but he seems like he's just crazy. But a lot of blacks who are Republicans are conservatives, like a Reverend Mark Burns. They come off as these like hand-picked, whitewashed black Negroes who are your token sellout. And they're just trying to rehash black talking points, and they just have black skin. But if you remove that black skin from them, you wouldn't know that they represented the African American culture, right? And so a lot of blacks kind of feel maybe insulted by the fact that, hey, you would put this black person up in front of me, and you would recruit this guy for me to join the party when this dude is speaking. Like, and a lot of Republicans also talk down to black people. That's what a lot of black people think. They talk at black folks, but not to them. Democrats do a very good job at talking to black people, although it's disingenuous for the most part. But Republicans kind of talk to black people like it's a very patriarchal thing. You niggas need to do it, better. Clean up your own house. Jesse Peterson, yes, they talk at blacks as if they're coming from a patriarchal point of view. So let's talk about this real quick, LAR movement. Do you think that Republicans, the blacks who are representative Republicans, they're kind of like they don't like black people. They don't have black people's best interests at heart, and they think that are they sellouts?
I wouldn't go that far with all of those.
Okay.
But they're definitely like white apologists. They can never point out white hypocrisy.
Oh.
Facts.
And that's a problem. Like, it's not a problem for them because they're getting paid from that side.
Uh-huh.
But it's a problem for recruiting people like yourself. Because what winds up happening is if we got our own issues in our community, and if you can see our issues, that means you're not blind to see everybody else's issues. And
Say that again.
If you can see our issues, that means you're not blind to see everybody else's issues.
Okay.
And a lot of our the men and women who are black conservative Republican talking heads, they have this hypocrisy where they're geniuses when it comes to talking about how black people need to get it together, but then they're retarded when it comes to white people. And it's like, we can't do this. Like, if they got somebody in there that had common sense and say, look, I could get more people on this Republican side, but we're gonna have to, this right here, this is gonna be a problem.
Right.
Instead of just saying, like, so what? The guy shot a black kid in the face with a Confederate flag t-shirt on. It's because of black on black crime. We have nothing to do. It's his fault for being on the earth walking down the street that day. Like, that should be going too far. Now, some of the shit, but don't get it twisted. They do make good points.
They do.
They do make good points. But sometimes it's like, really, dog? Really, dog? And I mean, and I don't hate to use it. That's the issue I would say right now with not only the president, but the Congress and Senate is nobody calls out the fact that they not really doing shit. Like, they have the House, the Senate, the House, Congress, and the White House, and the Senate and representatives. They have everything, right. And they really not doing shit.
Okay.
And
it's so much bullshit. I know.
Let me say this, because you're making a good point. Dante Ortiz says there is a strategic reasons why the parties campaign to stereotypes. They're not trying to change their environment. Their goal is to push agendas that serve the party. Let me shout out to some of the people that have super chatted real quick. Brothers, I am so sorry, because we're in a pretty good conversation. We're going to go to Big Chris real quick. But let me just shout out to the people who have donated. E. Hawthorne, $2. Marcus Love, the word liberal makes me think of those kind of dudes. Clutch. There's more genuine representation in parliament based on governments. And here's a tip for you in case I cause you a community strike. Y'all was going in that night.
We were not going in that much, but take the tip, man. What did we say?
What didn't y'all niggas say? But shout out to JL Edwards. Oh, I forgot you were. I didn't even see. No, you were here. Okay, let's go to Clutch now. Black people need to focus on overall solutions. We're wasting time debating which side to join when both have pros and cons. Invest time. That's a very good point. Shout out to JL Edwards. Okay, I think that's very similar to what LAR movement says. Keep it techie, my bro. $5. JL Edwards again, $2. So guys, do me a favor, get the likes up on the video. We got a lot of good content coming this way. Okay, so tomorrow I'm talking to I Am Mara on WhatsApp. We're gonna have him on tomorrow. And so he's going to be talking about travel tips to Colombia. I made a good video. And then also, I think we got a doubleheader with Big Chris, who's in the Philippines. So tomorrow's travel, whatever the day it is, Thursday. Got Al Grease coming this week. So we got a lot of brothers coming, man. I got a lot of content for you guys. Get the likes up if you want to support the super chat. Hit the super chat button. If you ain't got no money, put an empty condom in there and send it to me. Let's go to Clutch. Because see, Clutch, we had a show called The Advantage of Talking Like a White Guy. Now, from your perspective, because you do sound like a white dude, do people think that, you live in Utah, like when you say you support Donald Trump, or let's say, are you a Donald Trump supporter? I don't know if you are or not.
So personally, I don't mind Donald Trump, and I see him as the lesser of two evils, especially during the 2016 election. I'll say this: when Donald Trump won the election, I didn't lose any sleep. If all of you really need to know my views politically, I guess you can throw me more into the libertarian camp. Like, I know a lot of people who are more traditional when it comes to the African American community. They're very socially conservative, particularly when it comes to things like, I don't know, like gay marriage or say, I don't know, some cases drug use. Personally, for me, I couldn't give a crap less. And partially it's because I grew up in a place where if you decided to do something that wasn't within the scope of what the community wanted you to do, you were basically brandished and punished. So think of me as an individual who grew up in, say, a Fidel Castro Cuba, meaning the black community, particularly the black community in the DC area. Very authoritarian. Basically, they monitor everything. And as a person who dealt with that, I personally feel as if that it's no one's role to tell anyone particularly what to do as long as they aren't hurting anyone else. But on the liberal versus conservative side, I am definitely anti-liberal because partially they don't practice what they preach. A lot of these are no different than the alt-right when it comes to dictating how people should live. The only difference is that instead of going after blacks and males, they go after whites and males, particularly the left. So as far as I'm concerned, you can call me the sole libertarian in this chat room, and alongside that, I see leftist BS, see rightist BS, and I think both sides, quite frankly, are contributing to the downfall of this country. As far as Donald Trump's concerned, right now, geopolitically, he can sort of calm it down with the North Korea stuff. And with the Iran deal, I'm not too impressed with him just pulling out like that. But overall, domestically, I can't complain. So, yeah, I mean, that's my summary about my opinions on Donald Trump.
Okay. So let's go to kind of Big Chris, who is LAR Movement switching profiles. Big Chris, what do you got to say about like a lot of, because I'm a black conservative, I was a Trump supporter, but I have like a 99% African American male following. And I was talking to Anthony Brian Logan. I said, bro, I don't have problems like getting a black male following or a black following, and I'm very adamant in supporting the president when he was there. But what do you think about these other guys, these other Republican figures that are in the GOP that are not brandished, but kind of put out there for black people to see? Do you think that a lot of these people are what you would consider sellouts or coons or something like that?
Not at all. I know most people that think that those type of guys are sellouts, they're normally part of that heavy black activist movement group that does nothing for the black community except, sell seminars and books. And I had a whole show about that a long time ago that actually got flagged. But anyway, now as far as like certain guys like Jesse Lee Peterson, that I gotta agree with LAR on that one. You can't just be one-sided. I can't just come on every. It's kind of like the guys that talk about, race of women and stuff like that. We can't just always be one-sided. Right. If you're going to see flaws on one side, you definitely can see flaws on the other side. But I think for what black people complain about the most and they want to change, definitely they should lean more towards conservative. If they're truly wanting to change. Now, most people that are on the other side, like I said, it's the black activists, the thugs, the people that don't care. Those type of people, it's irrelevant to them for us to progress. But the people that do follow your, like yourself on your channel, that not all of them, because I see some clowns in here already. But majority of people that follow you, they're working class people. They're successful people, or they want to be successful. Like they have the drive to, I just want an opportunity, so I'm gonna go out here and create my opportunity. Well, you definitely need to be on the conservative side. I'm not saying go fully right wing and be just delusional. I mean, those guys, I ain't gonna lie, the right wing people, they can be very, very delusional, and they're not in reality. That's why a lot of people couldn't identify with Mitt Romney. He just wasn't in reality with the working class man.
Those are some strong points. You know, I definitely agree with that. We got some smart brothers here as usual on the podcast tonight. Let's go to brother Edward Anderson because you make this point also. I want to kind of switch it up because here's something that I see. I hear from the left or from other blacks, and that is this whole point that you know, Donald Trump is racist. The Klan. You know, the Klan is you know, supporting him and all of the other things, stuff like that. What do you have to say about this? You know,
I mean,
the racist
we've had racist presidents before. Woodrow Wilson is one of the most. Look, I think between Andrew Jackson and Woodrow Wilson, those are probably outside of the founding fathers. And Andrew Jackson came like right after, I think. Those are the two most racist presidents in the union. And Woodrow Wilson is was the most liberal. And if you understand who that man is goddamn a nice version of Hitler for black people. You know, for black people. If you understand the history, and that's and again, I'm not trying to talk down to black people, but again, no, let me stop talking about black Americans in general have like ADD when it comes to politics. You know, we don't, even in the last 10 years or 20 years, you know, let alone you know, you go all the way back to history like that. And that informs our view when it comes to a lot of it is marketing. But as far as Donald Trump, is he racist? I mean, is he what I call the classic racist? No. Is he what I call gangs of New York racist, which is a term I coined for Donald Sterling? Yes. He is very tribalistic. And you have a lot more evidence on Donald Trump for me to make that point than you do what it took for white folks to convict Bill Cosby. So on Bill Cosby stuff. So I mean, a lot of people, and I was just saying this, and Glenn, shout out Glenn Kimmer again in his chat, because it was like a lot of these troll white dudes talk about, I can't believe you're saying he's racist. I'm like, dude, his grandfather was in the Klan. Like, that's been proven. Like, that's not like people are letting that go because it's like, okay, you got bigger fish to fry. Like even with black people, but at the end of the day, that is true. And the problem, white people want to act like white supremacists, but they don't want to be called white supremacists. Even Richard Spencer doesn't like to be called a white supremacist. And Richard Spencer will tell you straight up that white privilege exists and we should have more of it. Because white people have always been cultured that white supremacists are evil and they don't see them as being evil. So, and so my point with Trump is tribalistic as hell, but Trump is also an aristocrat as well. Trump gives just as much of a less of a damn about poor white people as he does black people.
Yeah.
And that needs to be understood. In fact, I will go as far as to say outside of politics, he is more likely to entertain a Jay-Z than he would a what's the dude's name? The new Ted Nugent.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Somebody's echoing. I don't know who that is, but let me go to LAR real quick. LAR. I mean, what's about this whole racist thing? You know, Donald Trump is racist. You know, this and that. What do you have to say about that?
I mean, yeah, he is. His history backs that up. I mean, you can't ignore his history. Forget his family's history, even though that's part of him. But that's his history too. But the thing about it is, Obama didn't like black people. Bush Jr. didn't like black people.
Mm-hmm.
Clinton didn't like black people. Bush Sr. didn't like black people.
Right.
Reagan didn't like black people. Like, how many? I mean, 45 presidents.
Right. So,
motherfucker, we 45 and old with people not fucking with us.
Lincoln didn't like black people.
So, I mean, this shouldn't be something that we, you know, oh my God.
Right.
That's what for me as a black man, I'm like, really? I'll make a bet. The next president won't like black people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so fucking what? That's it.
Let me just say this real quick, right? Somebody said Kennedy was okay. No, Kennedy was not okay.
Didn't Kennedy put the green light out to get X and Malcolm and Martin followed, which eventually got them hit?
Kennedy was Irish, so no, he didn't like black.
No. But it was either him or his brother that gave the green light to Hoover.
Robert, maybe it was Robert Kennedy. Pretty sure, but
I got one president that might not be a racist. Might not.
Who's that?
Eisenhower.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's no. Ike. That Ike is rumored that Ike was partially black himself. He actually, so that might be a strong point. Yeah, Dwight Eisenhower is probably the best U.S. president of all time.
Maybe Teddy Roosevelt wasn't racist. Maybe not against black people.
I mean, the fact that we gotta speculate about this shit is probably, the fact that we gotta say which one is that. Okay. Here's the thing. That's what I want to say. And shout out to my brother Julian Brown. Always supporting longtime moderator. Sometimes he doesn't agree with some of the stuff I said. Right. So he's been here for a long time. Here's what I want to say. Who gives a fuck? And this is like maybe because I've lived in Poland for so long. Like every day I go into a place and I know a motherfucker probably don't want me there. I can feel it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of motherfuckers don't even want me. Shout out to Eastside Gypsy. They don't even want me in the country. So fucking what? I love the fact that these people don't like me here. Actually, I like it. I think that's nationalism. I'm not a person that's against racism because you prefer your own group. I think that's wonderful. I think it's wonderful that a Polish guy, if I was to date a white chick, he'd be pissed off and he'd want to take my head off on it. That's great. Because as a man, you're supposed to protect your country. You're supposed to protect. You don't want foreign people over screwing your women and getting them pregnant and wanting that. You don't want that. You want to protect what is your homeland for you. Although Polish people don't have no problem going nowhere else, but they're supposed to do that. I don't. It doesn't bother me. What it is this. It's great to me. I don't care. The thing that it is this. As long as I have the money to do shit, they're gonna sell it to me. If I need electricity, they're not gonna say, "Oh, you're a nigga, so you can't get this electricity." That doesn't work. Long as I'm able to pay for the service that anybody else going to pay for, they'll sell it to me. They'll do business with me. And see, that's the point that black people got to come to terms with. He doesn't have to like you. I mean, it doesn't really matter. If he doesn't like black people, I don't care. Do you know how many people I walk by every day that don't like black people? I don't give a fuck if they don't like me. I'm not, it's not for me to change their mind. I could care less. I really don't. You know what I mean? I don't care. They're not. Some people are never going to like you. That's what black people got to understand. You are black. Some people just not gonna like you because of that. You need to be able to deal with that shit. Just like today, I did a video. Why are black men begging black women for respect? Some black women are gonna say, "You niggas ain't building. You're not doing shit. You're not worthy of respect." You crying about that is not going to change that how they feel about your black ass. There's some chicks who are black women. They're very fine, and they will never date a black dude. There are some chicks. I come across one chick that was one of the finest chicks in the world. She didn't like men. All she liked was women. And there was nothing that I could do or anybody else that's going to make her change her fucking mind. At the end of the day, though, if I was selling something that she needed to buy, she would buy it from me. That's what the president is for sale. The GOP, it is for sale. The Democratic Party, it is for sale. So all that you need to do is say, like LAR said, what's the agenda? What do we want? Okay, I want this, this, and that. Okay, this is what I need. Here's the money for you to do what you said you're going to do. And if you don't do it, I'm not going to invest in you no more. Boom. End of fucking story. Like a lot of black people are just wanting somebody to like them because y'all got to start having some pride in yourself. Like black men specifically, if certain women don't like you, fuck it. If people don't like you, dude, Donald Trump, there was a problem like, oh, he didn't want to rent to black people. That's what you're guys talking about. I know I'm getting my Edward Anderson on being long with it, but I'm gonna shut up in a minute. I'm just getting my Edward on. That's what we call long with it. Getting your Edward on. Getting my Edward on. Half of you niggas don't want to live amongst black people your goddamn self. Well, he wouldn't want to rent to blacks. You don't want to rent to blacks. Keep it real. If you had a white applicant that'll rent your house and a black applicant, you don't want to live amongst them. As much as we love our people, y'all don't want to live in all black neighborhoods. Y'all trying to get the fuck up out of there, just like the white folks. So if Donald Trump didn't want to live amongst black people or didn't want to rent to them, then you can understand why. We all know this. No matter how educated you are as a black person, how much money you have, if you move into the white neighborhood, the fact that you're there, you could be a doctor, lawyer, whatever, them white people or Asian people, they don't want you there. That's a fact. If you get 10 African Americans, they move into an all-white neighborhood, them white people, regardless of what you do, they're going to get the fuck up out of there. Don't matter that you educated, are you talented? They get the fuck up out of there. Because they don't want your black ass there. So as a business decision, if he doesn't want to rent to blacks or sell to blacks, you know he could be sabotaging his shit. Because another person ain't going to want to buy it. That's business. It's not personal. So what the fuck are you niggas mad about? Because y'all don't want to live around black people. All you niggas is doing the best you can. Lord, please let me get out of Detroit. Let me get out of Compton. Yo, come on, let's keep it real. Y'all niggas gotta keep it real. So if the man didn't want to do it, I don't give a fuck about that. Dog, what are your policies and how does it help me? And black people need to get over that shit, man. Stop getting somebody to try to love you and all that. Man, niggas be for real. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done with my Edward on. I got my Edward on. Who's next? Go ahead, Clutch. Go ahead, Clutch. I was getting my Edward on, dog.
Yeah, and adding to that, I'm going to sound like an ass here, so prepare for this. A lot of you guys who complain about how you want whites that are non-blacks to love you, what have you done in order to get them to love you or even respect you? Have you put in the work? Have you given them a reason to help? Forget love. Let's talk about respect. Have you given them a reason to respect you, at least as of late? Have you given them anything besides sports and entertainment as something they can remember you by? And quite honest, have you provided the world anything of use other than shucking and jiving and just being stereotypes? I hate to say this, but for the most part, I do agree with what O'Shea Duke Jackson said about how certain people will not respect us, will not love us regardless. But there are a group of people who the only reason why they can't or they don't care for blacks is mainly not because of the color of your skin or because you're black, but it's your reputation and your lack of economic progress and power. And for some reason, a lot of you don't decide not to improve on it. It's like, well, they got to respect me and love me for me, or they got to respect me and love me because I went through all this suffering and all this discrimination. No, your grandparents, great-grandparents, and so forth, they said, regardless of which path they took, whether it was the Malcolm X or the Martin Luther King path, they realized that in order for us to be respected, we have to be respectable. And whether that's in self-reliance or being the best we can be by being and the antithesis of stereotypes, they realized that they had to bring something to the table in order for the world to respect them. Blacks throughout the world get this, except for American blacks. And yes, we have blacks in South America and some parts of Africa that are poorer than us, but for the most part, a lot of blacks outside the United States get this. This is the reason why blacks in certain countries are not at the bottom of the barrel, but blacks in America are.
What are you talking about?
Okay, this is going to be interesting. Let's reply to that.
I told you I was going to do some people.
I told you. Go ahead. I love this exchange. Hold on 1 second. There's some people that's thinking that Clutch is white. He's not white. Everybody on here is black. Some people like saying like
that's why I was laughing. That's why I was laughing.
This is all black, right? So, hold on. Shout out to Bronze Curl. Hold on a second. Bronze Curls, where did you get them titties from? I gotta you trying to show some cleavage on your new profile picture. Okay. All right. Nice breakfast, boo. All right, let's go ahead and let Edward Anderson respond to that. I kind of knew that. Get your Edward on, dog. Get your Edward on.
It's gonna be a hashtag, man. Man, look, Clutch, you know, usually I'm on your side of stuff, but Clutch, sometimes, man, you go super saying on the patronizing type of stuff. And I get it because I do the same thing. Let me say this first. I have this thing, there's 2 quotes that I have. Number one, I will not help you save the black community, but I will help you build another one. What that means is a lot of this shit, I'm not about to go in there. If you want me to go in the hood, I'm gentrifying the shit out of that motherfucker. And it better me than the white folks, because at least I'm gonna give you a chance to get your stuff right. I say, look, so I get that. I also have this comment. I thought O'Shea this offline. I told him I think only 40% of black people gonna make it at best. So I want people to understand where I stand on that, and I stand by that. And every day proves more and more I'm right. So before I start saying this, I want people to know where I stand. So I do agree to a certain extent, but the thing about it is you got to understand intent. Now I know you have good intent, but like this comment, the real comment that tripped me up was when you said that like blacks overseas. Nigerians have a bad reputation everywhere except for the United States.
Yeah,
they have
worse than us.
African Americans, because white folks are like, okay, you're African American, so I'll give you a shot. Nigerians, oh shit, they about to come up with a scam. We just don't hear that here. So a lot of this comes out when it comes to projection. And yet, as black people, we don't understand like how powerful an image is as a collective group. So we're pretty much out here naked when it comes to white people saying what our image is, and as a result, groups are respected. But the reality is, a lot of people on this damn planet ain't shit. Like, what is the Arab without oil? What is the hell? I could go anywhere. I mean, you look at like if you actually go through the veil of Asia in China, and you start really looking past like what you hear the regular headlines of China, you look at how they live. I've lived in the Philippines. And I can for a while, and I can tell you, look, I like Filipinos, but you think black men live in the matriarchy? Shit, you find out what it's like, man. It's open season in Manila, and that's for blacks and white people. When it comes to they women are looking to leave, So it's context. And that's the thing that O'Shea was talking about when it comes to patronizing. Yes, we have a wide gap that black people have to cover, and they need to cover it quickly. So I'm not going to say that like the rhetoric you're saying doesn't belong in the room. It does belong in a room, but at the same time, we got to have more of a good cop, bad cop thing. Because real talk, Clutch, if you wasn't on this panel, I'd probably be the main nigga saying what I just said before. So it just has to be a balance. And I don't mean a balance. I give a fuck about how somebody feels. Because you want to talk about politics, going back to politics real quick, the biggest political rival we have that we got to put in a box now for black men is black women. Because black women, when you look at resources that the black community gets, most resources that the black community gets for black people go through the hands of a black woman. Oh, that's worked out so beautifully. I point you to the nearest hood ran by a woman that's successful. You'll be closer to finding the goddamn gold at the end of a rainbow to find that. We know this. And so my point is we have to look at, okay, tactically, where does it matter? And another thing to go to what you said about image. The black male image is fucked up because black women have allowed themselves to become character witnesses and saying we ain't shit, which paves the way to people not looking at us like great white sharks, which paves the way for us getting killed. Black women are just as accountable to that as white men. Because if you give them a fucking microphone, they will start talking about like Tourette's, nigga ain't shit. Look at what black men did to me.
Don't send it to Patreon. Don't send it to Patreon.
Oh, okay. Well, my point is character witness and allowing us to go through a lot of what we go through in order to deflect from their own shortcomings. One thing that I'll say about black men do not say black women ain't this or that to deflect from our own shortcomings. One thing about black men will say, look, I know I ain't shit, but that don't mean that what I'm saying ain't valid. All right, that's all I want to say.
Let me also say this real quick. I don't want to respond to Clutch. I don't get my Edward on anything, but a Clutch makes a point. What have you done to earn people's respect? I'm gonna argue from this point of view in my liberal mindset, but to be honest, Black people have done so much. I mean, and what you're saying is true. Like worldwide, when we go places, you know, we have helped build America. You know, we have done more for ourselves than any other group of blacks on planet Earth under slavery. We built more schools, we built more institutions, we built more educational facilities, we built more economies, but we've also had more of those things taken away. So if you look at the narrative that you've ever saw about black people, they're dumb, they're stupid, they're lazy, right? That's always been what white people have shown the world about what the African American was all about. You know, even now we're promoted as being, you know, highly violent, you know, lazy, stupid, and, you know, certain music, stuff like that, owned by white or what you want to call certain other companies. I won't call those names. You know, let's just be honest. There's nothing that's ever going to make white people or non-blacks respect us when at our most respectable times we were wearing suits and in civil rights. They were still trying to, you know, create and make it look like we were worthless, we were stupid, we were less than humans, we shouldn't be voting, shouldn't be doing anything. Okay, the African American was very respectable. I even did a story about Sonny Liston. When Sonny Liston was the number one heavyweight contender in the world, Floyd Patterson, black people were trying to tell Floyd Patterson, do not give this guy a title shot. And the reason is he's a thug, he's a criminal. If he's the world champion, we're trying to get rights. We cannot have this guy as the heavyweight champion. Even John F. Kennedy begged him for that. Don't give this guy a shot. And we know what happened. St. Liston knocks him out like the first or second round, both fights, right? But the thing about it is, in any country, black, white people or other people who are in power, they're never going to respect black people. They're never going to empower blacks. Even if blacks are doing good, they're not going to do that. All right. So there's nothing that the African American can do to earn these people's respect, because they're always going to flip it, as they historically always have, to make the African American look as if they're stupid. That's always going to be the case. So, I mean, you know, it's a lose-lose situation. The big part is this, I think, to Clutch's point. What can the African American do to each other to prove that we can gain our respect within the community? We're not going to ever gain it from white people or other people. But we should be focused on, can we gain each other's respect? You know what I'm saying? That's the same thing, especially with black men. We need to gain our respect from each other. We can't keep looking for the white people to give it to us, because no matter what we do, they're never going to respect us like we respect ourselves. And that's the part I want to make. Let me go to LAR Movement, and we'll go to Big Chris.
I'm going to make sure I don't get this on Patreon.
Yeah, get your Edward on. Get your Edward on.
I'm about to post it.
No. It's not that, Clutch. It's not that. Using the parties as a reference. What the Republican Party and conservatism is the party of capitalism. If you want to make money, that's the party you go to. You can deal with all of the issues that they got when they're over there, but one thing they're not gonna stop you from doing is making money. The reason I say that is, you know what this country respects? Money. Mm-hmm. You know what they love? Money. You know how you can get somebody to 1 minute say, I hate your guts, and then that's $10,000 on the table. How you doing, sir? Money. And we gotta take that as a people. Like, look, tomorrow morning, I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna go running, I'm gonna get dressed, I'm gonna take a shower, get dressed, I'm gonna drive to work, and I'm gonna stop by McDonald's and get some breakfast. I don't need their love or respect. I need them to take my order when I put my money down.
Right.
Now, if I got a problem with that, I'm gonna take my money somewhere else. We as a people, we are soft like that. We do want hugs and kisses, and we want the Care Bear to break love out of their chest for us. We don't need all that. Same thing with the women. Guess what? You know what the funny thing about our women is?
What?
Let your woman look at your ATM slip and let it be a lot of money. Her attitude gonna change real fast.
Oh yeah,
real fast. She going, you're not a builder. You're not oh my God. What, can we go out tonight, Daddy? That's what we gotta focus on that.
Okay.
you know. So I'm gonna shut up, man, because I was gonna cuss and cuss and cuss, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Let me shout out to my brother Willie Dixon. Let me go to Big Chris real quick. But Willie Dixon says no other blacks have been subject to the level of psychological terror as Black Americans. Therefore, they have a priority system conducive to building wealth and getting ahead. That's why I clutch. I think also maybe Black Brazilians, they're probably even more fucked up than we are. I would have to say they are way more fucked up than we are. By leaps and bounds. And I want to say that by saying this. Okay, what Clutch said was very interesting. It turned the whole conversation. Edward, I told Edward, hey, you know, I did a tour with a guy called Obi-Wan in Brazil. He lives in like the biggest favela or like I guess housing project in the country. I told him, I said, hey man, you know, because he's going to school, he pays for his own school, and you know, his mom's a single mom, and he's trying to get his travel company off the ground. He works as a tour guide. I said, so all right, well, we're gonna get you a site. I just mentioned it to Edward because I was actually gonna have, I think, like maybe Nee do it, but Edward just jumped on it and made him a site. So Edward didn't charge me so much. I paid Edward for the site, and then he built it for the guy, did everything he needed. And you know what the dude told us? He says, man, you African American brothers are more helpful than these Black dudes in my country. They would have never done that for me. And I'm like, damn, you know, and when you deal with other great groups of people, I don't know if that's just a natural thing, but I hear that a lot of times, like, you know, African Americans, we have been the Blacks that have done so much for other Blacks. Like, look at how many Africans have come to our schools and become educated. You know, look at how many people we have empowered to, you know, get their independence or stuff like African Americans have given so much back to everybody all over the world. You know, we've done so much for other groups. So we got to pat ourselves on the backs because we still have helped so many people across the world in what we've done. So I just want to just put that out there. Let's go to Big Chris real quick. Big Chris, did you want to get your Edward on player?
I just real quick, I just wanted to say I agree with what you just said, but I also agree with what you said earlier about us with acceptance. I just think that it's real simple. You know, not everybody's gonna like you. Just speaking from individual point. So I don't see why we have that mentality that we need to be accepted by the world as far as Black people and stuff like that. We should do less focusing on that and worry about, you know, progressing in our own selves. And, you know, first we should be accepting ourselves because, I mean, you got a lot of Black people out here, they don't even accept themselves and they're worried about a white man accepting them. So I just want to put my 2 cents on that.
Let me, there was something I wanted to else talk about. Okay, here's what I want to know. The people that they do support, you know, Donald Trump, right? Many of those people, they have to do it like in private. Now, there was this guy, and shout out to Anthony Brian Logan. This guy, his name is Eugene Joseph. He was at a Cheesecake Factory. Now, to be honest, though, he's very dark and he has like a Latino white looking girl, right? And I wanna just mention that real quick because I kind of figured that the girlfriend that he was with was white or white Latina, so that may have a lot to do with it. And she is very attractive too. So he goes to this restaurant with the Make America Great MAGA hat, Make America Great Again hat, and he was getting these racial slurs. And you know, even the employees were trying to fight him, stuff like that. Make comments about the hat. They was going to punch him in the face. And it's an athletic dude, so he like 6'4", so I don't know how far they was gonna get with that. But they were calling him nigger and stuff, all kind of stuff. So I just want to know: do you think that a lot of people who support Trump do so in private, or is it, you know, are they afraid that something may happen to them? Let's go with who's next? Is it Edward or was it? No, let's go with Clutch. Let's go with Clutch. Clutch, what do you feel about that? And did you want to respond to anything that anybody said on the previous thing?
Well, I think a lot of you all made sense, particularly when it came to the counter arguments. I mean, granted, the only thing I'll say about this is that if we had the Blacks of the Civil Rights era, the Black Power era before that gave us those institutions and that helped the world, then I would completely agree with you guys, but from what I've seen, we're a whole different breed of blacks, unfortunately. But as far as being a Donald Trump supporter, particularly a black one in silence, uh, yeah, to be honest, I have sympathy for those who are outright and uh, high Donald Trump supporters, those individuals who wear the MAGA hat and are gun ho with Trump, all these rampant supporters, I should say. And I'm going to say this: my heart goes out to you guys, partially because you are playing this left-right politics game, in which I'll say this right now: Donald Trump, he doesn't work for the establishment; he is the establishment. And second, as far as the progress that I guess, or the breaks that we've gotten as black men under Donald Trump, which we've gotten some breather, I won't say breaks, but breather.
Okay.
Um, that is a reason why I can sort of understand where you guys are coming from. But at the same time, as far as those who are against people who are let me rephrase this, those who are against the blacks, black men in particular, who are pro Donald Trump supporters, um, what were we doing before, and did that work out? Exactly.
Oh well.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, that was rhetorical.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. You make a good point, right? Because if you're black and you're wearing a "Make America Great Again" hat, it's almost like going into like a Crip neighborhood wearing a red. Like,
Almost.
why would you do that? So you know that you're black and you're wearing a Make America Great Again hat. Like, you know you're gonna get problems. So why would you do that, right? I mean, that's just me. But shout out to Labor and Sacrifice. It's over $100K a year with only a GED from a juvenile hall. Is that enough from you, Clutch? LAR movement is right. You get enough money and they talk less shit. Shout out to my brother, man. Wow. 100K a year from a juvenile. Damn. I need to go to that juvenile. Arrest me right now, nigga. Shit.
I'm not hating.
No, not having. Shout out to my boy Damiate Harry out of ATL. He just joined into the podcast moderator. He wanted to come on the other night, but it was like too late. And so let me go to him real quick. Let them weigh in on certain things, and then we'll go to Edward, get Edward on.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up, family?
Y'all can hear me clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm riding through the A right now. I'm headed to work. I just wanted to toss in my 2 cents, man, about the being Republican or just conservative in Black America. Man, I'm kind of along the lines of whatever works for you, whatever you're trying to do personally in your life, as far as business or whatever the case is, man. You support whatever candidate or whatever works out for you. So if it be Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever, that's who you support. Regardless of most of the blacks in your community do hate on you because we already know, man. If you riding through your neighborhood with a red MAGA hat on or whatever, man, you finna get hate, man. It's just like you already know. And because you get on Facebook all the time, man, you hear everybody say fuck Trump, all of that. I'm gonna just use an example. Like right now in Georgia, they got we got candidates that's running for governor right now, right? So for me, since I've stepped into the limelight of entering the business world and trying to put out my own thing, I'm kind of more pro-business and whatever works for me, right? So right now, is one governor or one candidate here right now, Michael Williams, who he's actually a pro-Trump supporter and he's Republican, right? But of all the candidates, he's the only one that's really saying, his website is the only one that's talking about cannabis cultivation in Georgia, because right now it's illegal, right? So if you into the cannabis industry like I am, and let's say you have some money or you got some partners and y'all can get together and start a grow farm or whatever the case is, right? You would vote for Michael Williams because if he gets through as governor, he can pass legalization for you to go ahead and start your own grow operation, start growing cannabis and shipping it out across the country and around the world. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you support whatever candidate works for you, man. No matter if most of the people in your community is hating on you, because 9 times out of 10, if there's a bunch of black people hating on you, you the only one that's really doing shit with your life anyway. and you trying to look out for yourself and your business interests versus everybody else that's just working a job and just doing day to day, and all they got is opinions. You know what I'm saying? So, shit, if you were a Republican, man, you gonna get looked at, but you probably more educated to know what's going on in your state than everybody else do. Because let's be real, man, most blacks really don't look shit up. And like I say, man, everybody got a smartphone but ain't smart. Because, you walking down the street, man, somebody will ask you for directions, but they got an iPhone in their hand, like they can't look stuff up. So most people really don't even know what they're talking about, first of all. Because
damn, they cut his ass off. They said
he was on point too, man.
Yeah, he was on
that policy shit. No, you too smart. Nah. But look, and I've talked to that dude in a private hangout as well. So shout out to him. I can absolutely respect what he's talking about, and that's a big thing that people need to talk about. Like, shout out to Ulysses too, which is a guy that talked about cannabis and hemp all the time, and is really right.
Yeah, man, they dropped me off. What happened?
Hey, man, them people got.
Say what?
Them people got Atlanta, the LGBT capital of the country.
Don't send it to Patreon.
No, I'm just saying. But anyway,
go ahead. Continue. Who? Damiante, did you want to finish your point real quick, brother?
Well, man, I guess it cut me off. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. Go ahead and finish your point.
No, man, I'm just saying, man. Whatever benefits you, man. Do what you need to do and support whatever candidate. And if people hating on you, 9 times out of 10 they don't know what the hell they talking about anyway. What all they got is an opinion. They ain't got no facts or no legitimate reason to hate on you. So especially in the black community, because most blacks don't know what the hell they talking about anyway. So just keep it moving, man. But be careful in those neighborhoods where they hate red. Don't wear that hat. So you got to be undercover and discreet with who you support, especially being around certain black folks. But that's all I got to say. Right.
And let me just say this real quick. A guy, so some guy came into I don't remember who it was, but these guys wear the hats, right? And the Make America Great Again hats. Let me do this. Put you on mute, dog, because you got like the air conditioner hell loud. Yeah. Don't let me put nobody on mute today, man. Put yourself on mute, dog. All right, thanks. That nigga had on the air conditioning going on. This must be hot in your car, nigga. That nigga got on the. Here's the thing, dog. Okay. When you go to Uganda or Brazil, what do they tell you? One of the things they'll tell you is, don't wear nice shit. Don't be out counting your money and shit, right? Because if you do that, you're gonna get fucked. You're gonna get fucked up. Now, technically, I should be allowed to go anywhere, pull out my money, it's my money, and count it wherever the fuck I'm at, and you should not knock me in the head and take my shit. Right? This is what I mean. This is because the steal is against the fucking law everywhere, except for hell. Okay? Anywhere in the world that you go to steal, to knock a nigga upside the head and take his money is against the law. So I won't have these fucking problems. I'll just, you know what I'm saying? Not have my money on. I won't have my iPhone out. The same shit is being black with Make America Great Again hat. You know that you got motherfuckers out there that are going to check you on that if you're a black person. That's just what it is. Now, should they come up to you and say something to you about it? No. But are you asking for a confrontation when you are a black Trump supporter? Oh, yes. Yes. Because you know how niggas feel, how people feel about the president. A lot of motherfuckers don't like him. So if you wear that hat, white or black, you're asking for somebody to check you on that shit. And you're saying, well, they shouldn't do that. Well, motherfuckers shouldn't do that if you got your shit out there, or I got my hat, or I got something. Hey, motherfuckers might check you, they might not, but you are looking for more of a confrontation with that shit on just by wearing that hat. That's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You could bring some shit to yourself. So if you are a Trump supporter, and it could be volatile. I don't think, like, look, you know what time it is being black and Trump supporter. you know that doing that shit as a black person, as a Trump supporter, you asking for it to some people. So if you know that, then you don't. What's the point? If you support the dude, you don't need to go out and wear that shit and then complain about. You know what I mean? Because like, here's the thing. I know I'm in Poland and motherfuckers will drive by and say some racist to me. I really don't bitch about it too much. Is it wrong? Yeah, it's wrong, but it's a part of the game. I'm over here in they shit, so they gonna fuck with you. If you wear a "Make America Great Again" hat on as a Donald Trump supporter, niggas is gonna fuck with you. That's what it is. So if you don't want niggas fucking with you, don't wear the shit.
Simple.
I mean, but see, some niggas don't understand that shit. It's very simple. You know what I mean? So you can't complain about motherfuckers fucking with you with America, don't Make America Great Again hat, because you know how petty niggas are. Niggas are petty. We know that. So you dealing with petty niggas, then just don't wear the shit. I mean, y'all don't get this shit? Go ahead. Who's next? Who's next?
Another thing, that's a part of that dismissive attitude that we have towards each other as well. Because let's be clear, a lot of black dudes, the same black dudes, are not gonna sit there and do shit that they know is gonna antagonize white folks, because they know white folks can keep doing shit to them. Like, I think of that show Atlanta, where the dude bought the "Make America Great Again" hat, and then he wiped out a couple of characters, so it read "You Mad," and put it on and started walking around, and white people looking at him like he was retarded. You know, a lot of brothers want to do that, and I'm not saying it's right, but it's like, don't start nothing, won't be nothing kind of thing. You know where you are, you know what environment you're in, and part of you being an intelligent person is understanding how to navigate various environments. And certain black people think, oh, I shouldn't have to do that. But I'm like, first of all, why does anybody have to know that you support Trump in the first place unless you're having a conversation that's designed for you to push certain policies or whatever? And when I say certain policies, unless you're having that debate, why are you walking around saying that in the first place? I mean, it just is what it is, because you're fucking up your business. Now, going back to this particular situation with this dude, yeah, he was attention whoring, and let's keep that real. I mean, you know, he knew what he was doing, and I'm not saying he deserved. This goes back to the stupid, damn Starbucks did. He didn't deserve none of that stuff to happen to him. Those guys are idiots. Because let's be absolutely clear, I'm a cross between like a Michael Bloomberg and a Colin Powell, so I'm a technocrat. But I really, when Kathy Griffin did the thing, put Trump's head on the stick, he deserved for her career to be messed up, because I don't agree with that. He's the president. And when people were getting out of pocket with Tom Brady, with having that in the locker room, I think that was stupid. I think people get too emotional at who the president is, regardless of who it is. Actually, one of my mentors that helped me in my job in corporate America was black. He fought for George W. Bush, and he came out of the Nation of Islam. He was a former member of the Nation of Islam. So, I mean, you know, Diamante is right. Most black people just don't. And fuck that. Most Americans don't know shit about politics. I'm not gonna just put that on black folks, because white folks don't know a good goddamn about politics. They, you know. So let's be honest. That's across the board. And pretty much when it comes down to that, you know, most of these people, a lot of these people that get the maddest about Trump didn't even vote anyway. So they just mad at a fucking theory.
All right, no, I definitely agree. Let me go ahead and let me see here. Who else do we have? Let's go to LAR real quick. LAR,
I'm gonna keep this very, very simple.
Okay.
I don't think messing with the guy was cool. I think that's stupid. But I also think this. I hate the Dallas Cowboys. So if I decide to drive all the way to Dallas in full Redskins gear,
yeah,
and sit at the 50-yard line talking about F the Cowboys, if I get stomped out, I can't turn around and say, I don't know what just happened. And this is what, look, if you want to go out here trolling and starting stuff, because I see this all the time. They say the same thing about social justice warriors wearing clothes that trigger people. So now all of a sudden you doing the same trolling, but then I can't believe that happened. Really? Really? I decided to take a swim in some gasoline and it started the barbecue. And I can't believe I caught on fire.
Let me just say this real quick. I mean, LAR, I want to shout out the story of the Black conservative. Should we attack those who have Obama, Hillary stickers on their cars? Okay, thank you for doing. I mean, I think you're missing the point, though, bro. Like, go ahead, LAR. Go ahead. Sorry.
Every president has stickers. They do. And you know what? And some people get mad. Oh, that's who they voted for. Whatever. Nobody cares about that. This ain't really about stickers. This is just about an era of trolling people. Oh, that's what it's about. People do stuff on purpose to get attention, to get into a confrontation with people, and then they get mad if they get in one. That's just like before this, it was the Black Lives Matter thing, right? So now people have Blue Lives Matter shirts as the troll of Black Lives Matter shirts. So it's the same thing. Now, if you had a Black Lives Matter shirt and you went into a Confederate rally, you went there to get your ass whipped. If you wore a Blue Lives Matter shirt and you decided to go in a black neighborhood for Christmas, talking about, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, you gonna get your ass whipped.
Oh my God.
Okay, but here's the thing, though. Well, here's what somebody's gonna say. Somebody's gonna say, yeah, that's very extreme, right? But, and I'll give them this point because they are going to the Cheesecake Factory, so it's not necessarily, it's not equivalent. I see what you're saying, but it's not necessarily equivalent to the place that you're saying. Like if I'm a Raider fan, if I'm a Broncos fan and go to a Raider game, yeah, I expect to get fucked up, right? Something like that. Or a King fan going to Lakers. But what if you're going to Cheesecake Factory? That's where they're going to say Cheesecake Factory is just a restaurant. It's typically what you consider not an upper class restaurant, but it's more upper class than not.
Yeah, but it's also a restaurant on particular days. It's frequented by a lot of black people.
Okay.
So if it's was this Mother's Day weekend?
Yes.
Did he go Mother's Day weekend?
Yeah, he went, and then the girlfriend was also like, I think that was a catalyst in that. She's a very pretty, I would say like a white Hispanic type of chick too. So I think, and he's very, very dark. So I think that also, I don't know if he would have got that same thing if they were like all black, but her family was mostly Mexican. He's the only black guy. So I think that would be, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, bro.
No, that's fine.
You're telling me a black dude with a non-black girlfriend went to Cheesecake Factory on Mother's Day weekend, which is a Sunday, with Make America Great Again hat on, knowing a bunch of black people was going to be there after church tricking on their mama.
Okay, let me do this real quick. Enablers make the case for criminals. Let me say this real quick. Keith, y'all are missing the point. We should be talking about the attackers. They are sick. Let me tell you, bro, the majority of America is fucking sick. All right? Like, they are sick. They're definitely sick. But there is no reasoning with the sick. Do you understand that, dog? Like, you cannot reason with stupid motherfuckers. That's why most people want to get the fuck out of dangerous neighborhoods, black neighborhoods. Can you go and reason with them about why they do they can't? No. You cannot reason with sick motherfuckers. So you talking about, well, yeah, they're sick. Nigga, we know that. Why the fuck you think we trying to get the fuck up out of here? Why is Big Chris in the Philippines right now? Because these niggas is crazy. You know what I mean? Dog, I even went to the worst projects in Brazil. Rocinha, the biggest one. Nothing but single motherhood led birth dudes there, poverty. They are 300% more well-behaved than any black community I've ever seen in my life. That's how fucked up we are. Even with the education and all shit we have, we are still worse behaved than those folks are. So what I'm telling you is, I know that these niggas are crazy. If I know these niggas are crazy, I'm not going to be like, oh, they're sick. When a sick motherfucker is doing some shit to you, they think it's normal. So the last thing I want to do is be around you crazy ass motherfucking niggas. So that's why I stay the fuck away from wherever the fuck y'all niggas are at. And y'all feel the same way about everything else, right? Keep it real. We can be honest. We can be honest. So when you dealing with a group of crazy people like the United States, shit happens all the time that don't make sense. laws being passed that don't make sense. Education curriculums being passed. I won't say what kind of curriculums that don't make sense. The United States is fucking liberal, lefty, crazy. It's fucked up. The people are fucked up. So if we are so fucked up, why do we complain about motherfuckers being sick? Then you just try to stay away from them motherfuckers and don't try to deal with it. And everybody got guns in the United States. So why the fuck would you even try that? These motherfuckers are crazy, dog. You can't help the fact that they're fucked up. You cannot reason with the sick. It's impossible. Ellie, are you anything else you want to say on that?
Yeah. If you want an equivalent, does the Irish get along with the British?
Not that I know of. No.
So if St. Patrick's Day came around and I walked into a bar with a fucking British shirt on, I'm probably gonna get stumped out, right?
Or somebody will say something to you.
So so that means I was looking for a confrontation to do it that particular day, right?
Or are you just stupid?
There you go. That's all I'm saying.
I wear my hat and no one messes with me. I live close to Bmore. Well, that's probably you.
Probably Howard County somewhere.
If you keep wearing it, somebody probably is. If you go more to go to when they have one of them Black Lives Matter rallies in Baltimore and wear that shit.
Ain't nobody. I about to say ain't nobody gonna mess
your
with
ass up, dog.
Ain't nobody gonna mess with you wearing that hat when you go to a Klan rally.
No, but if you take that shit over, let somebody get killed. Take that shit over there by Drew Hill Park where they have one of them rallies and shit, nigga. Hey, dog, I love you though. You can come to Poland. Big Chris, go ahead and weigh in on the player.
I think it was an unfortunate situation. I feel, I kind of feel bad for that brother that we live in America where you can still have free speech, but some of us, I guess we just ain't allowed to. And you made a good point about, arguing with stupid people, fools. Like I typed it in the chat. It says that in the good word. It says, not to argue amongst fools, but, we still trying to fight with them. I will never understand that. Well, how can you argue with somebody that will refuse to see your logic? They're not that they don't understand. No, they refuse to see it. They don't want to see it. So what are we going to sit here and argue with them for? But I hope that man's doing fine or whatever. I mean, it could have been just straight jealousy. I mean, you come in there with some fine non-black woman, a lot of brothers feel some type of way. So plus you're wearing a hat too.
Those employees were black or white or what they were. I don't know the races, but I can tell you, and I wanted to say this, she was very attractive. She was like something a white man would want.
That's what I'm saying. That could be on that side as well. I mean, just not talking race, just any attractive woman.
Right.
People feel some type of way about that,
Yeah.
But the hat though,
right.
you got the fine woman and you got the hat. Yeah, I mean, you ready to start a fire.
You got a fine non-black woman with the hat. So it's like people think that you're real coon, you're a real sellout because you dating like that's another part. You're dating a non-black woman who's very attractive, like a Latino white. She was like more Latino, and this is the kind of chick that most white dudes will want. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, how you get that? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, if he would have came in with the hat on and a booger wolf, you think we would have even been talking about this story?
Oh,
nope.
Good point.
I mean, Donovan Sharp will tell you that, his experience with because he deals with beautiful women, and he's under no illusion as how other Gracies feel about that.
I'll add this. If he wore the MAGA hat with that Latino white chick and an all-white conservative Cheesecake Factory, he would have probably got the same reaction. Not because of the hat, but because of the woman.
Maybe would have got dirty stares. Like, you on the team, you motherfucker.
And she was probably, okay, this is important, man. Like, let's talk about this. Is the hate coming? Is this like some dick policing going on, man? Let's just go on real quick.
And you notice how that happens with both liberals and conservatives? That's the type of stuff black people need to peep. Like, oh, my bad, I'm in my car. That's the thing black folks need to peep. My thing is, this is why I get on my nerves. If you want to talk about policy points, because I don't give a damn about who you support. But when we talk about policy points, when I say policy points, I'm talking about black policy points. You know, when people try to tell me shit like, oh, the Republicans don't try to limit the black people's ability to vote via gerry rigging. When I live in North Carolina and I see areas that are black getting split 3 ways to Sunday, see, that's where I have a problem. And going back to, because see, at that point, you've established yourself as trying to carry water for a group that's the way you got to explain it. This is how I say it like this. The way you got to explain it to a lot of black conservatives is you don't explain it via politics or racism. You got to explain it via economic competition. You got to say, no matter what you believe or want to believe, yes, you can fuck with all races or all groups of people when it comes to business, because business is business. But understand, if they find somebody of equal value of you that looks like them, they are probably going to go with them because they're trained to do that. And if you want to live in this world where that doesn't exist, then that's fine. But just ask Tiger Woods about that. Just ask Bill Cosby about that. And when you talk about that with that, you tend to get more rope. Now, going back to the dick policing standpoint, you got to understand, as a black man, non-black men do not, and this is across the board. Hell, I can argue Africans. They do not want to see African-American men winning. So when you are with a attractive woman, regardless of race, you are a target. And you have to understand that that's not going to stop me from fucking some good, females. And also, but that's something, hell, black women are trying to beat your ass too. So we talk about everybody. This is like that TV show that movie Inception, where you was in the dream too long and everybody started looking at you trying to hurt you because you changing up the dream too much. It's the same thing. And I've dated I date mostly black women, but I've dated enough non-black women. I'll give you an example. A girl, like my second girlfriend, I really liked her. This chick was French Canadian. She had it. A lot of people in school would say that she was dirty just because she dated, now not because she dated me, because I don't know, maybe they saw something different. I'm light skinned, but because she dated another black dude. Now this girl I'm talking about, she's married to a lily white guy now, this engineer. But my point is, why she was dating that, you had a dude that was Italian talk about, oh yeah man, she's dirty. I'm like, nigga, you look Mexican. What are you talking about? But see, that's the type of stuff that they do to these women. And they also can't stand the dudes that do it too. So they'll try to fight dudes because they see you as a sexual threat. And when you got dudes that want to talk about, oh, that doesn't exist because racism or tribalism doesn't exist, those are the dudes I tend to look at with a, like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I gotta say something, bro.
Say something. Go ahead.
The kid was 22. But I didn't know it was in Miami.
Okay.
Black
community.
Hispanic Make America Great Again t-shirt or hat on Mother's Day. First of all, if she fine, that means the sisters got a problem with it and the Hispanic dudes got a problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
He went there to cause a big ass fight. Because it's Miami. Because on one end, Trump racist with the black people. That's where we're gonna go. On the other end, he's trying to build a wall. And he didn't do that with his girlfriend walking in there with that damn hat on. Some people just look, man. He over there smiling, looking. Man, you know what? He deserved to get knocked out that day. I'm sorry. He just went out there trying to be offensive on Mother's Day. Like somebody should have knocked him out and took his girlfriend.
So here's the thing. Story Black Conservative says, Keith, conservatives don't hate black people. They tell them the truth because they love them.
You don't shut the fuck up.
Okay. All right, hold on. Let's address that real quick. I gotta say something about that. Listen, man, Democrats nor conservatives, I will tell you this. Conservatives are more direct with how they feel. They're more emboldened, and you know, like they're more straightforward. That's what I like. I like dealing, even if a person is racist. I'm not saying that they are, right? But you know, white conservatives don't want to live next to you, just like white liberals don't want to live next to you. Okay, white conservatives want to do business with black people and get them onto their platform. I think it's nothing more than that. White people, Democrat nor racist, or whatever conservatives plans, it's not to put black people forward. The gay community had to put themselves forward. You know, the conservative party is, if black people go there with the same energy that they came to the Democrats, they're going to get the same exact results. Nothing. You got to finance, and really, I like the conservatives because they're tired of niggas shit and all of that, you know, victim blaming and all of that bullshit. White Republicans and don't want to hear that shit. They ain't got time to hear that shit, and they're not gonna baby black people. So they're gonna just be spread out and say, "Look, if you fuck with us, we're not gonna baby you niggas," and that's what we need to hear. But black people, if they go to their, you know, Republican parties or conservative parties like that, they're not going. You're going to have to come in and come with agenda and come with the fucking shit that you need. So I don't think that white conservatives love black people. White conservatives love white conservatives. Okay, and even they don't even love white folks. Look at the poor middle class whites. Because the food stamps is going to hurt blacks, but it's going to hurt white folks more. You know, when they cut shit, the white poverty class, which is more than us, they are the ones getting fucked off, not us as much. So we got to understand that, you know, the white conservatives or white liberals, neither one of them motherfuckers want to be dealing with your ass unless it's boat season time and time to give them some money. That's just really what it is.
They love me.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what he's saying, but white conservatives are more open to living next to anyone with good character. I live in a majority white conservative neighborhood. Here's what I want to know: story of black conservative. You might be in a white neighborhood like that. If 10 more blacks like you move there, they're getting the fuck up out of there.
There's a small quota.
There's a quota. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to you, brother. You more than welcome to be on here or on the show. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep this shit real.
How?
I get tired of the narratives. That's all.
We're gonna go to Damiante after this. But go ahead, Edward.
No, I'm just saying I'm tired of the narratives. Can we tell the fucking truth? That's why I respect Clutch so much. You know, Clutch will tell the truth, damn what you think, and now I say, okay, I can piggyback off of that, and we can get somewhere. We got too many people on both sides wanting to protect narratives. That's what gets on my nerves. I'm good.
Damn, hey, that's the shortest thing you ever said in your life, dog. You okay? You might have to call the police on you.
Hey, that's why I don't play leftist rightist BS. And I just wanted to chime in on this as far as, well, first of all, when it comes to that issue of dick policing, black male dick policing, it's a given on all sides of the spectrum when it comes to the United States. What's the United States without black penis policing? I mean, it's Canada, Britain, Australia, whatever. But as far as this is concerned, I will stand by my point that if he wore a MAGA hat in a super leftist or super rightist, all white 10% non-black neighborhood, he would have gotten the same stares. He would have gotten the same reaction. He may not have gotten as much hostility, yes, but that's because the camera is mostly on whites pertaining to racism. And that's the only reason. Trust me. But as far as America is concerned when it comes to this issue of quotas and conservatives being more open to blacks moving in, I've been to leftist DC. I've lived in leftist DC, I should say, and I live in rightist Utah. And as far as I'm concerned, the far left and the far right have the same quota when it comes to seeing how many black people move into their neighborhoods, and it's a very low amount. Trust me. Maybe it's a bit more if you get into like a moderate neighborhood or like a libertarian neighborhood. And still, the quota is still pretty low. Not because in their case that they're racist within themselves, but a lot of them know that if you have a bunch of black people moving in, then one of them is going to be this bleeding heart. I got to serve my community. I got to be down with the get down and bring Day Day and Bebe and her kids and move them in because they can't afford to live anywhere else. And then they're going to bring their BS with them. And then there goes the neighborhood.
Yep. That's one thing about rich black people and poor blacks. We are family and related, and we do visit each other and go to their houses and shit. And, you know, and a lot of us got family members that do crime, and we will let them come over for barbecues and shit start coming up missing next door.
Hold up.
Go ahead, dog.
Because I live in the suburbs, let's just keep it all the way 100. You know how many naked white kids run around here like it's okay, and their parents just okay with it?
Yeah.
Like, do you know how many of these shitty family members outside with packs of Marlboros just smoking and sipping beers on the front? I had motherfuckers behind my house 2, 3, 4 in the morning thinking they was Mumford & Sons for like 3 months getting drunk.
That's true.
To the point my Asian neighbors went off. Like, we gotta stop. Let's cut the bullshit. White people fucked up, y'all. Okay, they be doing meth in $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 houses. They have crack pipes just like everybody else. It ain't just when we move in the neighborhood.
LAR, most black people have never really seen poor white people. Not up front. They've never seen ratty hair.
I don't live around poor white people.
I know, but what I'm saying is they've never seen it. I've seen it. And when
I've seen it.
You can't unsee shit.
I had a question. When y'all get a chance, I had a question.
Yeah, go ahead. Let's let Big Chris talk. Go ahead, Big Chris.
I want to know how many black people want to live in these neighborhoods with other black people. You know, we talk about we move to a white neighborhood, and then if so many of us come in, then there goes the neighborhood. Well, how many black people? If let's say you're one of those token people that live in that white neighborhood, how many black people do you want to see come in that neighborhood?
Well, here's the thing. I actually like the hood. I really do. But I don't like it takes me 30 minutes to get to a grocery store.
No, I'm talking about like a suburb or something, you know, like a conservative community, not in the hood. But I'm saying, like, as a black, like if you're a black man or woman or couple, whatever, and you live in that neighborhood, and let's say you're one of like 2 black people that live in that white neighborhood, how many more black people would that person want to see come in that neighborhood and live? That's because we were talking about the white side of it. I was just talking about.
No, that's a great question, and they don't. The answer is what the caller said. They want as few as possible because they look. Because SWP said this a long time ago because he lived in the suburbs, and he said, "Man, black suburban folks, and that's our issue. They do not think as a group; they think as individuals, and they like to keep it like that. So they're just as bad. So when they escape the hood, they want to preserve Never Land."
Yeah, like I will say this about that. Where I'm at, I have black people around me. But I've been in this neighborhood since the actually beginning, this subdivision I'm in right now. Mm-hmm. Literally any house that's behind me, they built years after I was here. Mm-hmm. So I've taken jogs in my neighborhood and black people look at me like, where are you at now? And I had to cuss a chick out. Bitch, I was here before your house was built. Don't there goes the neighborhood with me. Your fuck ass just got here a year ago.
Hey, since I'm the contrarian, can I answer this question?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Doc.
How many other black people I want to see, and say I'm in Salt Lake City, right? How many other black people am I willing to see move into Salt Lake City?
All your neighbors.
What's up?
All your neighbors play for the Jazz. Stop playing.
We gotta be fair. We gotta be fair. Some of them play for the Utes as well.
Oh, God.
The college football team.
I don't even know.
No, but the college teams. But as far as the blacks, particularly how many black people I want to see move into my neighborhood, the number is limitless as long as they have a non-black girlfriend.
Wow.
Well, a non-American black girlfriend. I'll say non-American black. And the reason why I say this, I'm going to give you the reason why I said that.
Indian G don't make me know about you.
The reason why I say that is this. I know that if I see a black man with a non-American or non-black girlfriend or just a non-black American girlfriend in general, I know that I can relate to him, or it's a better likelihood that I can relate to him and network with him and ultimately trust him to have my back, whether it's socially, economically, whatever. I know chances are that we'll have the same wavelength and mindset when it comes to certain things.
Mm-hmm. Can you trust him around your girl?
Hey man, that's called
what he said though. I was say what he said though was a good point though about having in that community having a non-black, black but not American black. That was a good point though. So
yeah, I mean, hey look. Well, as far as LAR's question goes, I don't trust anyone around any of my girls, and that's just game, regardless.
The bully's in the building.
ABL is here.
Back up.
Oh,
I got back up.
Let me end the show, dog. Let me just end the show.
Leaving already?
Bully Logan's here, guys. Let's go and close. Okay, I'll let the show go for about another 30, 40 minutes.
Me personally, I like living around black people. I don't feel comfortable with living around nothing but white people. I just don't. It reminds me of Get Out too much. That's why I like that movie. But the thing is, I don't like living in the hood. And this is one thing that often doesn't get said. And that's why I like that O'Shea always talks about that black people are not the same. Like, you got to realize most black people have never seen a decent black neighborhood. I always joke, you can always tell when the neighborhood is black, no matter what socioeconomic status is, because it has the most cars per house. Everybody has a car.
All on the grass too. You know how niggas do.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah,
always
exactly.
put cars on the grass.
Everybody got a car, exactly. So, and it's always like at least one that doesn't work.
Oh, that's on the grass. It'd be that brown spot on that grass, nigga.
So, but in my life, I've always lived in neighborhoods. Like, I lived in Lakeview in Chicago. I lived in Aurora for a high second. I've always lived in areas with black people, And the very worst situation a black person was in was the stepdaddy situation. So at least the women, it didn't work with the initial father, was smart enough to, they were enough of a woman to be able to attract the stepdaddy to stay. And in exchange the part. So my point is, when we have these conversations, we have to understand that a lot of black people see white is good and black is bad. They never seen like a Fort Washington in Maryland or any like truly, affluent black neighborhoods. They don't know to them that's a fantasy. So you can live in a good neighborhood and it be a mostly black neighborhood or a mixed neighborhood. You can. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that in there.
Edward, you stepped in my territory. You said Fort Washington. I didn't live too far from Fort Washington, and I'll say this.
Not bullshit.
Okay. Let's go ahead.
On the surface, not bullshit.
And then we're gonna go to Harry. No. Go ahead. Go ahead. Make your point. Go to Harry and go to ABL. Let's go ahead, Clutch.
All right. So I live not too far from places like Fort Washington, like Upper Marlboro, like Woodmore, Waldorf, which is the epitome of black flight. Basically, you got people moving from PG County to Charles County, driving out all the poor white people, for lack of a better word, to the point in which the poor white construction owners were burning down houses at one point of blacks who bought these houses, but that's a whole nother story. But as far as the surface goes, yeah, you are right. These are middle-class black neighborhoods, but from my personal experience, I would say in 50% of these cases, these people still carry that hood mentality in which it's basically full of materialism, full of just anti-intellectualism. And to be honest, I'm not so when it comes to a lot of these middle-class black neighborhoods because I'll be frank. If if they had the middle class black Huxtable mindset, then chances are I'd be in the DC area right now. If not in those neighborhoods entirely, at least or within the region.
Okay.
And the problem is that for a person like myself, a person who was more I'm not going to boost myself as the most educated guy out there, but I was better than average. But even in those cases, I was not considered culturally black enough in order to get in the network of a lot of these people who held black wealth, black power, yes, black jobs as well.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm not sold. I'm sorry to crap on that fantasy world of yours of Fort Washington and Whitmore and all those places. But yeah, I know the truth behind a lot of those areas.
Okay, so let me do this, guys. Shout out to the brother. He super chatted a while ago. I'm sorry because we got tangled and you know how niggas are. We love to talk. Labor and sacrifice. Wasting your time talking to fools like wasting your time talking to women. All right. And then let's go ahead and go to brother Damian Harry. Are you still on? Cause he's at work, dog. I don't want you to get fired or nothing.
Oh man, I do security, man. Ain't nothing going on.
Oh, okay. Like in the bathroom. Yeah. So one thing about these niggas. Hold on. My boss coming. All right, go ahead, brother. Go ahead and weigh in on the thing, brother.
Man, well, all I was gonna say, man, because I'm a younger dude, man. So I'm 24, but coming from Ohio to down to Georgia, as far as living around certain people, man, I'd rather live around black people. Would I want to live around ghetto folks? No, because they stole my PlayStation 2 back in the day, and that pissed me off. No. Most black folks, I guess affluent black people live in North Atlanta, like Buckhead and all that. So I'd rather be that, that way around the rich black folks, not niggas, but it is what it is. But all in all, man, the question of the whole topic is it dangerous being a black Donald Trump supporter in America, man? You gotta operate accordingly where you at, man, in your environment, man. So if you in the hood and you got different viewpoints than everybody around you, man, you gotta watch what you say.
Yeah.
And that's all it is, man. You just gotta know who you around, man. So that's all I
Correct.
gotta say.
It's true. Before I get to ABL, I wanted to stress that point, right? I'm a Donald Trump supporter. Everybody knows that, but I keep my, people happy. Well, I don't give a fuck about y'all niggas being happy.
Okay.
I'm just joking. Don't subscribe, please. But I like, okay, Glenn Cameron was on yesterday. ABL was there. And I know he doesn't like Donald Trump. Charles Tyler, our guy, I'll name my awards after. Shout out to ABL. Because he got a plaque. He hated Donald Trump. Hated him. But when it comes to black men, I think that's like very small to me. I never Super Sly. I never argue with people who don't like Donald Trump or don't share my viewpoint. I let them talk. I don't weigh in. I don't tell them what my position is unless they ask me. But let me get over to the bully. He's here. What's up, man?
Me? I'm a nice guy, man. Come on.
No, you just appear to be nice.
I'm always good, man. So what's the question? Is it dangerous to be a black Donald Trump supporter?
Yeah, let's talk about the guy with the Make America Great Again hat. And then while you're doing that, I'm gonna go get some these chips and shit. I'm starving like a motherfucker. Go ahead and weigh in on the doctor.
All right. Now the whole thing with the guy with the hat, I mean, that's predictable. I've been talking about that for a while. And I really brought it up when Kanye was going through his whole drama. And I said that I was like, this is what happens when you are a black person and you support something that's against what the average black person thinks. We sit here all the time and say that we're not a monolith, yet when somebody thinks outside the box in a different way, you automatically just want to disown them. You want to try to kill them, like what Dad Dillinger was talking about. Oh, Crip alert. And like I told O'Shea before, he did not tell the Crips to go kill Kanye. But when you talking to gangbangers about doing something to somebody, their mind may go to, well, maybe I should just kill Kanye to make a point, or to get in good with my big homies, or whatever the case may be. That's kind of how that goes. And you see the same type of energy here against my man Eugene Joseph in Miami with the Trump hat, just for wearing the hat, not even saying anything, not even talking about his politics, none of that. You just automatically want to surround them, and you're in the place of business. You got people that coming from the back outside. I worked in a restaurant for 5 years, Old Country Buffet back in the day. I would never, ever, ever go outside and harass a patron. That's just crazy. That's an easy way to get fired. It's really disrespectful. It shows a lack of discipline. It's just something that shouldn't be done. But this is what happens when you support Trump. But I never seen anything like that the other way around for Hillary supporters. Has anybody ever seen that? I mean, we joke about these men, these so-called men, these beta boys wearing the full Hillary Clinton onesie or whatever. We joke about that, but nobody goes up to them and harasses them and boos them and want to fight them. We just laugh at how silly it looks, but we don't approach them and assault them like my man got here. It's not really that deep with us.
Didn't the dude with a rifle try to go in a pizza joint because he hated Hillary that much?
No, that's not what happened. What happened with the pizza joint was that it was a rumor about they were in there molesting kids. It wasn't about him hating Hillary.
He implemented
Pizzagate. We just shoot up schools. That's all we do. We just shoot up fucking schools.
I mean, that's a whole different story. When you're talking about somebody hating you because of your political affiliation versus a school shooter, that's not even the same thing. I don't understand why that would get brought up.
Because
ABL, hold up. ABL, I just got to tell you that.
You go do it, all right.
2 times. You remember that? 2 times.
Okay, all right. I see you. I see you, LAR. Hey, man, I'm hating on you, man. You got 2 flags. I'm hating.
Show him again. Show him again, dog. Show him again.
Just call me 2 flags, bitch.
I'm hating on you.
Like 2 chains.
LAR people's champ, man.
I told him I was going to do it. Let's get back to the subject. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he couldn't. Okay, let's go ahead. Bully, continue bullying.
I mean, I think I pretty much made my point pretty clear. You know, nobody on the right is trying to assault Hillary supporters for how they say. Like I said, if you have on the Hillary Clinton onesie and you're a male and, you know what I'm saying, you can't really tell what your Johnson is hitting or whatever, you might laugh at it on the internet and make memes about it, but anybody going to come or approach you in the street and try to hurt you or threaten you or kind of make you feel intimidated, nobody does that. But the other way around, you get all kind of criticism and violence. Like, I'm gonna tell you this. Everybody know I used to be on the left. And the same way that a lot of the same way I do right now, where I kind of battle the left, I was battling the right. I used to be in these forums and whatnot, and just in my walking life, I would talk to people, and I would be trying to battle them on their viewpoints because I was on the left, and I would battle the right. Never did I get any kind of racism. Most I would get is, you're not educated enough, read a book, but it wasn't like F you N-word. I never got that type of racism. Nobody ever threatened me. None of that was going on. However, now that I'm on the other side, I'm getting all types of death threats. People telling you go kill yourself. I hate you. You're a disgrace. You're you know, all this and that. So now
coon.
I'm that coon, Uncle Tom, sell out. It's like, yeah, come on, give me more than the 5 phrases: coon, Uncle Tom, sell out, bootlicker, and whatever other catchphrase they want to come up with. Are you doing it for money? Or you're not really being real? Or it's a stick? I hear the same things all the time. Come up with something new. But I never heard anything like that. I never heard anything like that when I was on the left, and I was far on the left. I was further left than anybody on the panel right now, and anybody that's been on the panel.
Can I make a serious point about all that though?
LAR, and we go to Edward. Go ahead, LAR.
The one thing that I left out earlier is when it comes to the Make America Great Again stuff, you pretty much getting back the same energy you gave out, because during the campaign trail, it was violent and confrontational.
Who was starting the violence on the campaign trail?
That's how they were treating people.
Who is they? Who is they?
Every rally.
Who is they?
See how he does that. He can make these broad statements.
Oh, you got autism now? Like what? You don't know that?
Nah, you said that's how.
Oh wait, ABL, that's pretty good. He got your ass.
That wasn't.
Hold on, wait, ABL, wait. He got you.
That wasn't good. That wasn't good.
Whoa,
that was. If you think that was good, that was kind of. If you think that was good, you're not really thinking.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Hey,
I'm not. I gotta stop. Let me talk.
Last week.
Y'all talking for 3 hours. Y'all talking for 3 hours.
I like how he never loses.
Now, who is they? Who is they? Can you answer that question? Yes or no? Who is
you
they?
Want me to answer? Yeah.
Yes, LAR. Yes.
Okay. The participants of the rally.
Okay, now the participants on the rally, was there nobody that was there from opposite sides of the fence? Was it just one group of people that were there? Obviously there were, because you said that at the rally people were getting assaulted because of their political affiliation. So who are you speaking about?
Hold up. So what you're saying is, when these other people went to a rally that weren't part of that political affiliation and they got accosted, assaulted, or confronted in fights, they should have known that was going to happen. So when these same people go into the opposite atmosphere, they should have known this was going to happen.
I ain't saying nothing about that. I'm asking you a question about who's starting the fights. Because every time I've seen these rallies, it was always people from the left coming in, starting the ruckus, and then the right finishes it. That's what I would see.
Spit on people, punch girls, sucker punch guys.
A girl got punched. You punched a girl.
Spraying chicks, man.
Yeah, can I be honest? Democrats are very violent. Liberals are fucking crazy. So I have seen
I get
them do that more so than the Republic. I was
going to ask someone y'all get a chance.
If it's a rally where you have right-wing people that are just allowed to be amongst themselves, you don't see no violence. But then what happens is that you have the left come in and then they start drama. And then people say, oh, the right's being violent, when in reality, it's the left coming there starting all the drama. You don't see anybody from the right going to a left-wing rally and starting drama there. Have you ever seen the Bernie Sanders rally get interrupted by somebody that's on the right? Have you seen the Hillary Clinton rally get any kind of violence? There's all kind of leftist people there, but why isn't nobody from the right going there to confront them?
Right-wing rallies have fights with their own people.
But who's starting the fights?
Okay, hold on a second. Let's let Big Chris weigh in real quick. I'll come to you real quick, Edward. But let's let Big. We have a lot of people on the panel. Big Chris, go ahead and weigh in on it. Sub-Zero was in here, but he left. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a question for ABL about the riots and stuff when they happened. Now, I was listening to Tariq Nasheed a while back when he was talking about that, and he was saying that they were getting paid to come in and do that. Do you believe that, or you think that's just how it is?
What do you mean, people that were on the left that were coming to start problems?
Yes, they were getting paid to come in these rallies and start riots like that, start fights and stuff.
Well, I'm not sure if that's 100% true or false, but I wouldn't doubt it because a lot of them had signs that were manufactured. And I work in marketing, I work in print, and I could tell when somebody has something that's been made that costs some money. So the people that come in here with these signs, and a lot of them have the same signs everywhere they go. I wouldn't doubt that some of them are getting paid. And then also a person like D. Ray McKesson, who we all know from Black Lives Matter, this guy was working a job, getting paid $100,000 to be a school administrator, but he quit that job to go be a protester full time. And you tell me how much that pays if you're able to be a protester full time and quit your job making $100,000 a year. So obviously there is some money going on, but as far as everybody that goes to a rally, I can't say for certain if they're all paid, but I would not doubt it if they were.
Have y'all
people on the panel though? What are y'all thoughts on that? Do y'all think that people were getting paid for that because they were trying to? Really trying to degrade Trump with that. That's what they were.
I'm not trying to be like, kind of negative on the subject. But let's be honest, when we look at everybody, like take ABL out of the equation for a second and look at everybody that was on the panel. And this ain't no play to you, ABL, at all. But nobody on here, like I'm the only person that's actually a Democrat at all on this panel. Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay, I've already, me, I'm on the record saying fuck Democrats. I understand that they shit stink. I know both sides of what it stink. I'm across between Michael Bloomberg and Colin Powell. So I'm like right in the middle. I've always been more of a moderate, more of a technocrat. So this idea where we come in here and polarize everything to where people are trying to defend like ABL, most of these niggas don't give a fuck about Black Lives Matter because we know Black Lives Matter don't give a fuck about black men. Does anybody disagree with that statement?
No.
Did I just make?
What's the point? What's the point though?
So my point is, we have this polarizing thing where we get we get in this back and forth that becomes a distraction. Now I'm about to lead into what my real point is because I never got the chance to finish this on BGS's Hangout. When I asked you, no, not even when I asked you, when you brought up saying that all black men or all black people could come around the idea of making money. Do you remember when you made that statement?
Yes.
Do you remember when I said, what do you think about Dr. Clark Anderson and group economics? Do you remember what you said?
Just tell me and get to the point, please, sir.
You said, I don't believe in race-based economics. That's what you said. So My question to you is, because I said earlier in the panel that the problem is a lot of these dudes that say they're conservatives are really pro-white. And they use conservatism as a way to project a distraction into the black community, pretty much like a Trojan horse. I've accused you of this. So my question is, as a black man, how can I trust anything you say when I understand that black people, in order to rise, and when I say black people, this comes from a Negro that said 60% of black people ain't gonna make it. But within the 40%, if we are gonna have power, we're gonna have power as a group, because in this country, this is economic warfare. Fuck racism. This is economic competition.
You got to get to the point, my boss.
My point is, how can I trust you when you won't even acknowledge that?
Acknowledge what?
About race.
Acknowledge what?
Autism.
You're saying,
yes, autism.
let me ask you this direct question. Do you believe that economics is fundamentally tribalistic in the way it's practiced in the United States of America?
Not necessarily. Maybe it is. Sometimes it can be, but not necessarily.
Okay. Do you believe in group economics? Group economics?
Sure.
Sure. So you believe in black group economics?
Hey, if you want to do that, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
You asked me too many questions without getting to the point.
He is getting to the point. I understand what he's saying.
Can you point to me to any Republican, any black Republican, any Republican that talks about group economics or black economics? So I can go look them up.
I've already said this before. You asked me the same questions over again. I'm gonna answer it one more time. I don't see any politicians to talk about race-based economics. I said that already. So why you ask me the same question again? I don't get it.
So what is Buy American? What does that mean?
Oh, that's a national thing. That's not a race thing.
It's not.
No,
okay.
Americans are all people that are citizens of the United States of America. It's not a race-based thing. If you are the president of the USA, you're the president of the United States of America. You're not the president of whites, the president of blacks, the president of Asians. You're the president of all U.S. citizens, period, regardless of where they are.
Did you just take Barack Obama's line?
Yeah.
Hey, man, if he's right, he's right. If he's right, he's right.
Because let's be honest, and I'm done after this. We know that America, when you say Americans or make America great again, that shit never is a euphemism for white America, because white America is the dominant society. That's always every single American that's in the United States, right?
I mean, it's however you want to take it. It's a matter of opinion. I mean, when somebody says make America great again, I'm thinking about the whole country. Now, if somebody else thinks it's about their particular group of people, then that's fine. That's on them. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
That's the bullshit. But okay, I'm done.
I mean, am I wrong? Everybody had their own opinion. I think make America great again is for all Americans. Somebody else may think it's for white Americans. That's fine because that's their point of view. But I don't agree. I think it's for everybody.
Do you think when people voted for Donald Trump, when you look at Donald Trump's demographics, in your opinion, that motherfuckers were voting for Donald Trump because they really thought they were voting for a better America? Or do you think they were voting tribalistic standpoint?
A better America, because the reality is, if it was not for the people that voted for Barack Obama 2 times, Trump would not have won. I'm not saying everybody that voted for Obama voted for Trump, obviously, but in many key demographics, many key places, the same folks who voted for Obama twice also voted for Trump. So I voted for Obama the first time, then I voted for Trump when he ran in 2016. So you can't say, oh, well, it's about a demographic thing. It's about a race thing, when the people that put him in office, a lot of them also voted for Obama twice. It doesn't make any sense logically.
Not necessarily, because Obama's half black, but okay. But whatever.
I mean, come on. Like, everybody knows everybody saw him as the first black president. Let's not play games. Let's not play games.
Oh, okay. Now it's not play games. With the other day when we was in the chat, are you guys autistic? You see, it's
are you triggered about that? Don't get triggered about that.
I mean, the thing is, it's just like, like the dude said in the chat. I can't say anything better. So let me read it for him. He says, ABL, Aunt James says this. ABL got more moves than a bowl of Jello.
Hey man, don't get mad. Don't get mad. No, hey, I know how to debate. A lot of
sea walking and spinning, dog.
Listen. I know how to debate. I know how to handle myself. Don't get mad at that. You should just emulate what I do, so you can do the same thing I do.
The nickname ABL I got for ABL, since you want a 5th name, is Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, that's ABL. He doing all this.
Hey, I didn't say anybody. I didn't call anybody a nickname on this particular chat.
It's like you real close, but hit him.
Hey, I don't mean that as a diss. I mean, Floyd Mayweather worth $500 million, and it's hard to hit that motherfucker. Yeah. That's what I mean.
I mean, you can't hit somebody when you're not throwing punches that are going to land.
I got you plenty of times. Oh my god! Me and Dinus had you up against that wall.
Come on.
ABL.
You see my face, man. I'm pretty, man. You can't hit this
come
pretty
on,
face,
man. It was you took.
I'm playing. I'm just joking right now.
Come on.
Don't nobody get offended.
You took a lot of ALs on. I mean, you took so many beatings, man. People felt sorry for you. Like, man, let me go vote for him.
I don't take beatings, sir. I think that I won. I think I won the award. I won this award fair and square on your website because people like what I bring. I know LAR. Hey, don't get triggered, man. I know you got two. That's fine, but I know I won mine
because you got so many ass beatings over here that it was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and vote for the nigga. Let me just go ahead.
No. Let's not play around.
I won't get triggered, man. I think the L stands for LaShawn because you shady McCoy up in this bitch.
Yeah,
juking out of everything.
Hey, speaking of debates, I have a debate coming up tomorrow.
With who?
I don't. It's with Robert Perkins. You know what that is?
Yeah,
I like Robert.
I do know who that is. It's on your channel or his channel?
It's gonna be on Five Show.
Oh, where?
Oh, this is not gonna work.
It's gonna be on
Five Show. Really?
It's gonna be on Big Phil channel.
Yes.
So Phil is starting to try to get his Sinetter on, huh?
Yeah, man. Hey, it's gonna be fun, man.
bringing the debates on his show. See, that's what you know what, Phil. If you listen to this, dog, you know I was bringing the hood debates over here first, nigga. You know that.
Yeah.
But I got a lot of love for you, dog. You still my play cousin on accident, but you know you didn't got that from me and Sinetter and shit. I stole it from Sinetter first. You stole it from me.
I like Robert, but seeing how he debated somebody else.
No, I don't. Robert is a smart guy.
But ABL is a special type of.
But ABL is going to gonna nitpick him on certain words all the time and play dumb.
I don't play dumb, man.
Oh, yes,
come on.
Yes, you do.
Nah,
he gonna play stupid with him with semantics and stuff like that. And if Robert Perkins is easily frustrated, he gonna have a hard time.
What time is that gonna be on?
Yeah, Jello, what time you gonna be on?
But if it's like Roland Martin had your ass, nigga.
Nah, Roland Martin had you. I'm gonna tell you what happened with Roland Martin.
Had you like, oh no, stop hitting me.
Roland
against the wall, dog.
I thought Roland just was not asking me no good questions, man. I wanted to have an interview. He just wasn't. He was trying to debate me, but it was just weird.
He's fat motherfucker's good debater.
He was like, I don't know, man. It was just weird. He wasn't asking me good questions. Like, what's gonna happen with
He whipped your ass with that ascot, didn't he?
Nah, it was just weird, man. It wasn't really a good one. I wanted to really get asked some good questions so we could talk, but he just kept asking me the same thing. It was just like, it's kind of whack. And then he had his staff. He had his staff that was in my ear. It was weird.
You see how he did Umar? He brought all the people into the room and shit on Umar. We gonna go to commercial break. Came back. It was like 7 niggas up there.
Yo, he brought in the black woman that was advocating for interracial dating. Oh my God. I'm almost glad Richard Spencer called him out, man. When he said, "Are you a black man?" He's like, "No, I'm a man. I'm a Christian first." I was like, "Yeah, he called your whole card."
So at Vibe Show, he doing the I ain't gonna lie. At Vibe Show, when he went on that Louder with Steven Crowder debate, that was a massacre.
I heard about that.
That was bad. Yeah. That was bad.
Yeah.
Crowder. I don't know what was worse, the Tucker Carlson, Tariq Nasheed, because that was it. Tariq. He had Tariq in a lot of headlocks on that one, dog. Like he had. Who saw that debate when Tucker Carlson gets Tariq Nasheed?
I saw that. I heard about the one with
That wasn't his best look. That was probably his worst look.
No. Yeah, Tucker Carlson's a really bright guy, very quick on the when you look at debates, guys who are really good at debates and debating, I mean, such as myself, you think really quick. You know what I mean? You have to be very fast. Tariq Nasheed is not really like that. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be in positions where you can't control what's going to come at you. But Tucker Carlson's good. The Robert Perkins guy, I don't see him beating ABL on the debate.
No.
However,
I don't see him beating him on the debate.
However, here's the thing about it. ABL is basically going into the MSNBC version of the black male media, the advice show.
You said what now?
No. ABL is going. He's basically going to the Fight Show, which is basically the MSNBC version of the black male manosphere. So
real
Black male
Perkins may
manosphere,
have a bit of an edge. Not edge, but he may get a bit of some help from the Fight Show. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But Robert Perkins is a black guy, though. I think if he stays away from those nitpicking, and I think also Robert Perkins probably doesn't get a lot of practice of debating. Like ABL comes here all the time. He goes to BGS hangouts all the time. You get a lot of practice all the time.
Look, I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. I've been debating my whole life. You know, both of my parents were in the debate club when they were younger. So imagine being the only child and you're living in a house, you know, a single parent household. Sometimes I'll be with my dad, and then I'm trying to convince them I want something, and you got two champion debaters that you are trying to argue with, and you're the child. Imagine that your whole life.
I mean, champion, you're definitely not that. So I mean, I don't mean maybe you like a 15th ranked contender or something, but you know.
Even to take the debate thing off the table, I don't even think, and I'm saying this from a pure take how what I think about it in X's and O's like sport. I don't even think Perkins could really take down Tatum either, really, because Tatum is, you know, he has his points, but he's not really a debater is ABL.
No.
What's the topic?
ABL's a debater. He's a debate. He is a, and he doesn't get mad either. He doesn't get upset. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what's the debate topic gonna be tomorrow?
Okay, then the debate topics, we're gonna talk about black men in general, and then there's gonna be 6 subtopics: white supremacy, crime, education, black male female relationships, fatherless households, and marriage.
You got a lot more again.
Okay, go give me the first category. Again,
first category, white supremacy.
He's not. He probably is somewhat strong in that. Okay, that's what he does a lot. Okay, what's the second talking point?
Crime.
He's not going to beat you in that. Third one.
Education.
He won't beat you in that. Fourth one.
Black male female relationships.
See, y'all should do that in reverse, because the black male female relationship is something I think more even kill.
Hold on. Let me just, black male female relationships. I don't know. He may. You guys may share the same sentiments.
Yeah, we probably agree on that sometimes. Yeah.
Okay. Goes to the next
one. Fatherless households.
Fatherless households. He has 5 kids. So I don't know.
You rim out the ball
on that too. What's the next one?
Marriage.
Y'all probably agree with that.
Yeah, Robert Perkins actually has a lot of he's not like a simp or anything. I don't think he has a lot of strong points.
I think what'll happen is we'll probably end up agreeing more than we disagree.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. I think the white supremacy and the crime is where you're gonna have that's the first parts are going to be really the strongest things. I think white supremacy he's pretty strong on that, but I don't know. I think that overall, I think it's going to be if you probably take the white supremacy and the other part, the crime he's not going to win at all.
Yeah,
white supremacy. He's probably not, if he's upset, which I think he'll be more likely to be upset more than ABL is. He's done because ABL will frustrate you. But he don't frustrate me. He don't frustrate me because I know how to deal with all the, you know what I mean. I know how to skin the cat. I know how to skin the fish, boy. over here.
Yo, Patreon debates would be like a really good idea because I would love to see certain people against like Superboy, like Harvey, or like Serene Rain. There's a lot of folks that are not in the manosphere. This like if you bring them together on stage, like the way you just said it, like different topics, like 1-on-1 or like a tag team shit. Yo, people pay for that. I know I would.
Dog, I was the first person to do that shit for real. Besides Netter, live on live shows. New Possibilities Dynasty against Brandon Tatum and ABL. That was one of the classic debates. Come on now.
We need a round 2.
You know, but Phil been coming over here watching the shit that we were doing in the manosphere. He be watching that shit. He takes notes. I want to say this real quick. Shout out to Doug. He wants to know when is the Roger Curry Alpha Male Strategies debate on Should You Lie to Women? That's gonna be in June. June.
Oh yeah, I'm paying. I'm donating to that just on GP. I love to see Alan Roger Curry and ABL debate too, because Alan Roger Curry is like me from Chicago. When we start pitching that voice, that's how we know. Like, yo, mother, like what?
Hey, ABL, I'll arrange a debate between you and New Possibilities on any day of the week, just a one-on-one. Everybody wants to see that one too.
Oh, that's yeah.
All right, we can do it. Ain't no thing.
Hey,
put money on that.
I think New Possibilities. See, guys like New Possibilities. I don't know about Robert Perkins, but guys like New Possibilities and Tony Maceo, guys who are like more academically trained.
Yeah. Like he was pretty
give
good.
ABL more problems. I noticed that they do give him more problems.
Yeah,
ABL
I mean,
and Charles.
Yeah, Tony Maceo is like a thorn in ABL's side because he doesn't get upset and he's very academically sound.
I think out of everybody that's been on here, probably Possibilities has probably been the best one. But everybody else,
What about
very
Tony
unique.
Maceo? He's pretty
Don't worry
good.
about y'all Negroes.
Tony Maceo's okay.
ABL be pissing him off.
I ain't got no gas, dog. I ain't got nothing.
They feel offended.
I ain't got nothing going on.
But O'Shea, you like Future.
No, me and ABL agree on like 99% of this stuff anyway.
Exactly.
So, but Dynast though, Dynast be fucking you up sometimes. ABL.
Nah, Dynasty get too upset. He gets upset, and then that's when he loses.
I want to debate.
No, he doesn't ever call you out your name or nothing like that. So
But he gets mad, and that's when he loses.
Dynast handles.
No, you actually lost when you said autism the last time though. That was
I didn't. At that point, I already won, so it
No,
didn't matter.
no, you can't. Come on, dog. You cannot say autistic. That's an ad hominem. That's an L.
Nah, at that point, the conversation was getting redundant.
Okay, so you see how you see the spin doctor moves. Let's go to
do a
Black
Negro
People talk real
debate
quick,
team.
guys. Let's let him weigh in. He just jumped in. What's up, BMT? ABL with his fuckery. But go ahead, Ed. What's up, man?
Nothing too much. I just came from the Prophet of Thought. Actually, he's a really interesting guy. I actually like him. I like him a lot.
Okay. Shout out to him. PLT.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
he used to be over there. Yeah, I finished talking with him, but I was like, damn, y'all talking about something. I'm a black conservative. I wouldn't talk about that. Y'all talking about some interesting stuff. And I saw LAR and I said, man, I want to come over here. So I'm reading y'all comments on everything y'all was saying. It's a hard life being a black conservative, but I mean, you get no love on this side. I'm gonna tell you right now, they look at you like you Judas, like you betrayed and you did something wrong. So I shouts out to all, especially ABL. You be taking the blunt, man. Like they don't even treat you like a black man anymore. They treat you like you leprosy. So I give you all the respect, man. That you can do it. Like you got to have thick skin. Like I'm not sure how many of us are actually black conservative. I know O'Shea is one, and I know ABL and I am one.
Yeah, definitely.
But I mean, you really got to have thick skin for this because I mean, when you look at the Samboing in the black community, you like, do I go along and do the two-step dance, or do I like get away, and just go out there for myself? And I mean, when brothers actually start going out and they venture out and they become successful in their own right under the sun, they're like, damn, it's not like what they said it was going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I mean, at some point, you're gonna be like, shit, like. Why y'all still on the plantation? Like, why ain't y'all come off the plantation? So, it is what it is, So, I mean, I just gotta say, I hope we have a Negro debate like one day, like the Negro debate teams. I really want to do that. I'll put money up for that, like $100. That
Hold on a second. I got Casper wants to know, when are we gonna do the put the bag over her head show?
Oh,
okay, we're gonna do that as a brother pill, but we have to take that right off of YouTube. So I promise you guys, we're gonna do the put the bag over her head. We're gonna do that show. Unfortunately, ABL won't be on there because it's like they don't want to mess up his great image. But all you other sleaze bags, we'll do that for you in the next 7 days. Put the bag over her head. And that'll be a Patreon only show. So who else need to weigh in? Let's go to Clutch. Clutch, did you want to weigh in on something, dog, real quick?
You know what? I've been silent basically because ABL has been holding his own.
Those are lies. But anyway.
Stop. No, let me stop asking. Honestly, about in general, when it comes to the Donald Trump stuff, hey, look, ABL, you're cool. I lean more towards the right, but you have to admit, this dude who went in Miami on Mother's Day weekend to a cheesecake factory in a predominantly probably black neighborhood with a hot non-black chick, he was attention seeking. You have to admit that. This is no different than what the left does with all these SJWs and these hipsters who try to virtue signal and get attention from people from the right, or in many cases the far right, maybe not the mainstream right, but the far right. And when the far right attacks them, they'll put out all the isms like racism, sexism, transphobic, transformerism, all this kind of stuff. You have to admit, this is basically the same thing that the left does, only in reverse.
I don't know.
I'm not saying you deserve to get attacked, but
yeah, exactly. That's the point. I mean, I don't know if I agree if he was attention seeking, but I think the point, even if he was, let's just say he was, you know,
right.
it's still, he didn't deserve to get attacked. And people do that on the left all the time. They get attention, but you know, nobody should put their hands on anybody. And you don't see people on the right doing that to people. I mean, you might see somebody in the Hillary Clinton onesie with the buttons on the back, but anybody gonna go up to him and threaten to beat him up or shoot him or nothing like that. That's not going to happen.
Now, as far as threatening people to beat people up, okay, those on the mainstream right, which you're a part of, I can agree to that. But let's be honest, especially with Donald Trump's rise to the presidency, we've seen more people from the far right take over the voice of the right. And a lot of these people have the same sentiments as those on the far left. Basically just tribalism, attack first, ask questions later, that sort of thing. Why is it that, yeah, you'll get on the hard left, but when it comes to the hard right, yeah, all right. When it comes to the hard left, you'll bring the door hammer, right? But when it comes to the hard right, you'll bring out the Fisher-Price hammer.
But what's the hard right?
Come on. All right. So
I mean, because like, okay, let's be real, because I think the hard right is only like a handful of guys. They just have a loud voice because people pay attention to them because they think that they're like somehow Nazis or whatever. They're afraid. I mean, the hard right really is only guys like Richard Spencer. That's pretty much it.
Right.
Who else?
Right part was
Candace Owens. Come on, let's be serious.
I don't know about Candace Owens.
Owens is really not even a fucking
Fair, yeah.
Candace Owens is like more of a centrist. She's not even.
Yeah.
right part.
She's on the same league with Anthony Bryan Logan and the comments of Kanye West. That the Candace Owens is just mainstream, basic right wing.
So my question is still saying is like, what's the hard right? Richard Spencer, that's one person, but who else?
Well, the people who share his sentiments, those who believe that, those who basically believe that just because you're of a different skin color means that you need to stay on one side of the country or stay in one kind of neighborhood or stick to one group of people or stay in one kind of culture. My issue with the heart, and I know you're not part of the heart right, so I'm not asking you to answer on their behalf, but my issue with those on the heart right is that they will use rightist talking points to put down authoritarian, borderline, Marxist-like propaganda. Basically, yeah, for the instance of states' rights, we all remember how states' rights was bastardized to basically say black people can't go to this establishment, or in some cases, these public establishments, which black tax owners funded just as much as white tax funders, whatever. But in this case, when I'm talking about the hardcore right, I'm talking about those who basically utilize the government in order to hold back freedoms for every individual. Just to clarify myself, I know you don't. I know most of the right, including you, don't represent that. But we have to be honest. There is an element of the hardcore right which is just as disingenuous and as harmful to this country as the hardcore left.
I think the hardcore left is much more of a danger to society than the hard right is, due to the fact that it's not that many on the hard right. Like, prime example, when we're talking about the violence happens at the rallies. Everybody want to talk about Charlottesville. That seems to be the go-to thing. We're talking about the hard right because a person died, unfortunately, had the higher mercy, rest in peace. But here's the thing about that. Are we going to talk about all the Black Lives Matter riots, all the leftist riots, not even the Black Lives Matter riots? Those are one thing that happened. But then all the campus riots are people that protest right-wing people coming. Jordan Peterson, who is not even really a political person at all, he's more of a centrist. You got people getting beat up with bike locks and whatnot on Berkeley's campus because of that. People getting punched in the face, people getting shot at, all type of stuff because they are on the right. You really don't see the same level of violence when you're talking about the right to the left, which is why I talk about the left more, because they are the main purveyors of violence in the country, not the right to the left. That's just the reality of it.
The thing about what you're saying, I get it, but it's a problem because when it comes to nuance and propaganda, all of these mass shooters are considered to be on the right.
But why you say that?
I'm not saying that they all are.
But why?
The minute because when they start digging into them, they start connecting them to the far right.
Like
no matter
Dylan Roof is one, but who else?
The guy in Florida.
Did they say the guy in Florida?
The guy Nicholas Cruz? Yes, they found some information that he was a sympathist of hardcore rightist propaganda, which ironically he ended up shooting everyone but blacks. I don't know how that happens.
Exactly. I mean, like that's what I'm saying. Like it don't make no sense. Like, okay, if he's a hard right white, if he's a hard right, how you going to go shoot all white people and how you going to be Hispanic? It don't make no sense.
But Timothy McVeigh did the same thing when he blew up the thing. I mean, a lot of these guys, or it's the same thing with the what's the dude from the Divinity Church back in the day with I forget, Waco. They tend to do that. I don't know why that shit is. The dude from Vegas too, by the way, had hard right leanings. So yes, it's very clear they tend to be hard right. So my point is, you are out here putting out certain narratives, man, and that's my issue. Like nobody.
What am I putting out?
You're putting out the narrative that the liberalism is the problem, like from a national standpoint, and there is no like hardcore right element. I mean,
I didn't say that there wasn't. I just said it right now. I just said like a few minutes ago that the violence that comes from the left to the right is much more than the violence that comes from the right to the left, which means that there's violence that comes from both.
Here's that it living in the world of implying in gray areas.
I said it. I was very clear. I was very clear.
Here's the thing, though. When it comes to the shootings I'm talking about, it doesn't take a rocket scientist for people to think, even consciously or subconsciously, mass shootings, assault rifle shootings, Tea Party. You get what I'm saying?
That's just somebody's opinion.
I don't.
Based upon what they think.
When he says shit is facts.
No, because you got to think about it. That's who you consider people walking around with guns. That's the closest thing you can get to about a political party walking around with guns like that.
Nah, I don't think that. I don't agree.
I'm not saying you got to agree. I'm just saying it's like it's part of the problem. Just same thing with remember Tiller, the baby killer thing with O'Reilly. The history of people on the right. They can rile up people on the right to do crazy stuff on a regular basis. And I mean, it goes back for years.
Who's doing the crazy? Who's been doing the crazy stuff mostly? When you're talking about a percentage of crazy things that have been done that have been politically motivated, is it the right or the left in the past 20 or so years?
I would have to say the right, dog.
Are you serious? Oh, come on, man! Like really? Like, have you not seen all the race riots that have been happening all over the country?
Look, even with the race riots, there are people.
Ferguson, Missouri, burned to the ground.
Right. I'm glad you brought that up. Like Ferguson, right? The guys who were called patriots, they were usually guys from the far right who wasn't even police officers or law enforcement, drive to a city with guns and tactical gear to be part of these riots to fight with the police or just fight the people in the crowd.
Now, who was actually burning the city down? Was it them, or was it the people that were there who just wanted to get into riots, or most associated with the left?
No, because if you recall, one of them guys got arrested for shooting people.
Okay, but who was burning the city down? Was it those that were on the right, or was it those that were there that were mostly associated with
people involved? But there were also people who came to town and burned stuff down, and business owners who burned stuff down for insurance money.
Let's be honest. The people that burned stuff down were already there. A lot of them were just trying to loot and get free stuff, and people that were associated with the left. That's the reality. Everybody knows it. If anybody did anything from the right, it was much less.
I know you bully ABL. I know you want to just say your point and say shush.
That's the Hurricane Katrina argument.
But it goes both ways. Like at the end of the day, if take Black Lives Matter, right? You talk about that. If Black Lives Matter was to go to a right wing rally and be able to join the police in policing the right wing people, you would say something that's a little off with that. And if they wind up getting into fights with people, you would say something's off with that, right?
Well, the Black Lives Matter, that's not their. They don't come to police. Like I know you're talking about like the 3%ers. Like they're not really like a political force, and they're kind of like center. They're not really left or right. I know some guys that's in that.
Hold on,
it's kind of a false equivalent.
Taylor Made Dreams is in the building.
These old dudes hate Trump.
That's the same thing with the Clive and Bundy stuff.
Let me just shout out to Taylor Made Dreams. He won the Travel Channel, the Best Travel Channel of the Year award. So Taylor Made Dreams, let me know, did you get the award, man? Because I did send it to you. Larry Mallory, if ABL had a little balance, he'd be a monster. So I want to shout him out, man. It's my brother. We always do shows together and stuff like that. So shout out to my brother Taylor Made Dreams.
Can I comment on that right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
When people say they want me to be more balanced, what they mean is they want me to agree with them sometimes more than I disagree with them. That's what that means, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, hey, you do the same thing. You say you want people to come to your side and get off the plantation, brother.
Yeah, come to the right side. You know, yeah.
Okay, let me.
I think all of it together though balances itself.
You said what now?
I said with you on the show and all that. I think all of us together. I think it balances itself. It's good to see both sides like this.
I agree, 100%.
This is the only place where you can get all of these intelligent black men on every single fucking night. Only here. On different topics. Except for ABL's buffoonery. Who else wants to say something, man? Because it's getting late here, man. It's
I got something I want to say.
Go ahead.
Like one of the things, and I'm gonna hit on this. Like when I first started out, I was more so talking about conservative talking points, and then I got asked like to speak on the NRA. All right, we all know the NRA and the right go hand in hand.
Yes.
Okay, and it's very disingenuous because you notice now you're starting to see a lot more videos pop up with black people talking for the NRA.
Yes.
However, when it comes time for situations to happen to black people, the NRA is nowhere to be found. Now, there's something off with that. Let me say that again. And I mean, I'm a conservative too. Woman, I think there was an incident with a woman. She used a gun to defend her child. She goes to prison. If it was different, and we know we try not to play the victim role, but if it was different and it had been a Caucasian woman, I don't think the same thing would happen. I think they would have been blown up for something different, like, oh, why are we doing this to her? But again, we're being told now that, hey, we're all equal. What I'm getting at is for the right, we got to look at it like a lot of people, because I'm conservative, a lot of right wingers, they run a lot of shit. They run a lot of businesses. They understand that you put your money talks. I don't think the left has really understood that yet or really gets it. They know how to march and complain like most liberals do. But for conservatives, they understand that if I have the money and I put the proper people in the proper position, this is why you don't have to see them act the fool. They're like the big kid. They let the little kid scream and complain and act the fool because they know at the end of the day, you can't hurt me really, because at the end of the day, I could just take your job away. And in a sense, that's some type of power right there. Y'all get what I'm saying? Because when you have that power, when you can really silence somebody, you say something about a conservative on YouTube, they can shut you down like that. So there's certain groups that you can't say things against. Because I saw that the minute I started talking about conservative stuff, I lost a lot of subscribers. And that got me in a lot of trouble. And I'm like, oh wow, y'all weren't for me. So it's like you gotta watch on what you say to them. You know what I'm saying? Like the MAGA stuff, I'm not gonna lie, you'll never get me as a black man to say make America great, because I be trying to figure out like when was it the great time for black people in the US. I agree with conservative talking points. 1960. What was going on good for us then?
Oh man, we had
I would say
80%,
better than it was before. I mean,
better than it was before. Yes, 80%.
Better. Okay, You're right about that, ABL. I do apologize. You're right about that. I won't, because 1960 it was a good time for us as far as when it came to family, us with the market and everything. Have we gotten away from that? Yes, I 120.
Wait, time out. How long has America been a country, and you motherfuckers bring up 1 year?
Hey, LAR, don't do that, man. Don't do that.
That's like having.
I mean, if you want to,
it was a 48-minute game. How good were you in the game? Good 30 seconds.
I would say like the first part of the 20th century was good for blacks.
And which part of the country?
I can't believe you put a year to it, but let me just say something real quick.
About like Jim Crow.
Yeah, Jim Crow can't vote in Alabama.
I mean, look, even in the face of all the racism from the laws that were on the books, mind you, the laws that were on the books, even in the face of all that, we still had a better time than we have right now. That's the reality. Can nobody say I'm lying?
Well, we having a better time as far as the family and stuff being together. And
we had family, we had business, we had more discipline, we had more education.
A lot of that.
No. I can't say that we have more education now as a group than we did back then.
We have more economic terrorism. That's what it's called. Here's the deal.
But I see his point.
Go ahead. No, I understand the point, but I just want to be clear. Like, I understand you lived where you lived in Virginia. Right now I live in North Carolina. And I can tell you right now, I've been to Wilmington, North Carolina. I've seen those houses. I've been to Durham, North Carolina, where they still have like one of the last remaining black-owned banks. The reality of the situation is, man, we tell these certain narratives and we don't focus on the narrative rather than telling the whole truth. The reality of the situation is a lot of the wealth divide that happened in that you see today, a lot of that was traced back in the very time period you're talking about.
Do you know that in 1940 there was a higher black employment rate than white employment rate, especially among teenagers? Do you know that?
How much were we getting paid?
I mean, I don't know.
I also understand that.
Who asked that question? Who asked that?
Hold on.
Who asked that question?
Hold on,
I'm going to ask.
Oh, that was a pretty good question, dog.
That was because of the Great Depression, which was before the activation, before the United States got into
in 1940,
predating the United States getting into World War II, in which the economy and everything started to change because GM and all that said, "Nigga, we need you to make some tanks and shit," and people were getting shipped overseas.
I'm gonna tell you what happened. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you.
You're talking about the Great Depression, so you won't say that.
No, and before 1940, 1940s when they came up with the minimum wage law, which took a lot of black jobs away.
Are you talking about
black people were voting Republican, but black people were voting Republican at that time?
Wait, hold on, wait.
Are you talking about the era where most black people's grandparents can tell you, I had to drop out of school in the second grade to provide for the family?
Yeah, that was around that time period.
Yeah,
my 7-year-old granddaddy working because they was broke. It's the best time for black people's employment.
I mean, but ABL,
you still got to pay the bank. You still got to pay the bank for your land, though.
ABL depends on black people to be stupid, and not really.
I'm gonna tell you something. See, y'all don't know. I don't know. You don't know too much about me, Edward. I'm gonna tell you something. I come originally from West Virginia. My great grandfather built 2 houses in the 1950s in West Virginia and on the land that still stands to this day, where my family members live at right now. And my father owned land in West Virginia. So did my other grandfather. He owned a lot of land right there in this so-called racist place during the most racist time in the country. But now, who owns land? Who's talking about owning land and the actual house that's on it that we did back in the day in the so-called racist time? I ain't really trying to hear all these victimhood stories. The reality is that in the first part of the 20th century, it was much better for black people. People could say that it wasn't, but it was. Even in the face of Jim Crow, all that good stuff, it was still better for us back then than it is right now.
Better in what ways, though?
Family, education,
economics. I wouldn't say education because it wasn't. You can't say education because it was
no HBCUs existed back then.
Okay, what I'm saying is
we didn't learn skills back then.
No. But what I'm saying is this: when we talk about education, as far as quality, was the HBCUs equal to what was? We know that's not true because Thurgood Marshall wanted that went to the Supreme Court, and we found out that was not true. So it was not. It was separate, but it was not equal.
What's not true?
What's not true is that the Board of Education, it was separate but not equal.
Yep.
And
They said it was supposed to be separate and equal, but Thurgood Marshall proved that was not the truth.
Have you been to a black school recently?
Wait, let me finish though. Let me finish. So, in terms of education, you have more blacks that are educated now than you ever had before. So
O'Shea,
we can't say education.
O'Shea, have you been to a black school recently? High school.
They get tablets and they get computers to take home.
But these kids can't read.
Well, what I'm saying is this. If they're more educated, wait, let me finish my point. If they can't read, yes, we do have a problem in certain urban areas. We're talking about like Detroit or certain Memphis, certain Democratic ran places. That's true, right? But you have more blacks flourishing as a result of integration and able to go to other schools and stuff like that. That's a fact.
Flourishing where? In the United States?
Well, as far as educational achievement, even
what's going on with the single parent household rates? Why are we? I'm
not disagreeing with you on that, but when you say in terms of education, you're misspeaking.
In the year 1960, we had about 125,000 black people in jail in total, with a population of about 20 million. Now we have 1 million black people in jail with a population of about 40 million in total. So how are we doing better now, education-wise, than we were back then?
Because actually, I'll tell you this: because a lot of prisons do offer college degree programs and training programs.
But how did we get in jail in the first place?
That's not the question. The question is this: that's you mentioned education, right? So you already know you met yourself. Okay, here's the thing: in 1960, could a black man from America go to medical school in Poland, being financed by the United States government? No. So these are opportunities that you can do now. Okay. So what I'm saying is, blacks have more access to education, be it online or whatever you want to call it, than we did back then. That's just the fact of it.
Why is it that so many of us are illiterate?
Yes, I mean I'm not debating that, but
why is it that you got like 80% of the people, 80% of the kids in Detroit that are functionally illiterate? Why is that happening?
What you're talking about?
I mean, you're talking about certain cities, bro. You're talking about certain cities. I don't see now. You're regressing from your original statement because you can't stand them.
I'm giving you an example.
Memphis, okay. No, black as the whole.
Let me just say this real quick.
We got the dog. We got it back in the corner.
The black people from the 40s to the 60s you were talking about, they were illiterate. A lot of them were illiterate. The difference between then and now is black people now have more education. Black people back then had more skills.
Yes, that is true.
Okay. So here's the question. Here's the question: if you get taught a skill, is it not education?
Not if you get
America doesn't teach skills right now.
No. The question was, if you get taught a skill, is that education? Yes or no? Please answer.
Can I answer that?
Yes or no? Please answer.
Let me answer that. It is education.
Thank you.
But is it a willing education that you were taught willingly or forced to be taught? But you got to think around the time that you went on. I just looked it up. Slavery, the Emancipation didn't get signed not too long ago. So you got to think for some of those who were still slaves.
Emancipation got signed in 1863. So what are you talking about?
You got to think. You have people just coming off of slavery.
Less than 20
in 1940.
You got generational. Listen. How many slaves owned land when they got up? Here's your land and here's your property. How many slaves owned land back then like that?
Slaves. I don't think no slaves owned land. It was free black folks that owned land.
Hey, teaching people how to do hold on one second. Teaching people how to do a task and teaching people to be generally educated. Those are two completely different types of education, and I know you know that. ABL.
I didn't say nothing about
the case. They didn't want niggas to read.
Hold on.
If you go to a tech school and you learn how to work on cars, you learn how to do HVAC, plumbing, you have an education. It's in a skill. Just because you don't go get a bachelor's degree and work in the office somewhere, you're not educated. You're educated.
Hold on. The difference, I get you. But the difference between then and now is this. Even my grandmother knew how to do drywall and fix shingles.
Okay.
There's people who got master's degrees who can't even cut the grass nowadays.
Correct.
And you don't have to know how to read.
Black people were trying to survive back then. They were just trying to survive for the land that wasn't even theirs.
There was a day where we could build our own homes. There are neighborhoods that stand to this day in America that were probably a little after the 60s where black people actually built the neighborhoods up. Some of these properties were built by black people. The difference is they sent all their kids to school, and their kids don't know how to do masonry work anymore, or electrician work anymore, or plumbing. You didn't have to go to school to learn these things. They taught these things at home, and some schools did teach these things, but you don't see that in school anymore.
Another thing they don't keep in mind too is
better education back then. That's why.
But no, that's like, hold on, ABL. What you're talking about?
Slick, boy. You slick, Jello.
Well, hold on. Like, the issue, the separation is you're trying to talk about culture. That's why you're talking about family and stuff like that. And yes, I will argue that was better back then, but that was better for different reasons of what you're talking about. You see, what white folks, whether they're liberal or conservative, realize they said these Negroes are stronger together no matter how much we hit these motherfuckers. So now what we're going to do is interject a virus in order to break them up. That's why when you had, what's the dude that came out with the fucking great
Poverty Act,
Society or the Great Deal, the New
LBJ.
Deal shit. You notice he love to say nigga like I say fuck. So I mean, that you try to say there's these good white conservatives versus these bad white liberals. When you look at the wealth and you really understand that, because that's the other dude, the new dude, the conservative that came on. There's more wealth in the liberal Congress than there is in the Republican side of Congress, even though there's more Republicans in there. So they don't look at it like liberal or conservative. That's some shit they sell to you and sell to lower class whites, but you ought to have that separation. They understand that they try to take people off the economic game board. And that's why I'm talking about the economic shit. See, Jews understood this early on. And that's when Jews went through a lot of shit that black people did. Like, they wouldn't let them have loans and stuff. They said, all right, we're going to get good at rotating our money amongst each other. So you all cannot do that to us. Versus black people, we have this thing where we want to be accepted and be liked. And we don't understand that basically, whether white people are liberal or conservative, we need to watch all of them. Because here's my thing, and I'm done after this. White people individually are not a problem. That's why I can have white friends. I'm going to tell you, like I tell white friends, I don't start getting the side eye with white folks until they start grouping the fuck up. That's why we call it the system of white supremacy. The system, because it is the system. What got Bill Cosby's ass was not a couple of white folks. It was that system of court system that waited for that nigga to get old and vulnerable and threw all them fucking white women at his ass so he could get a guilty verdict.
He couldn't remember all those damn dates. Who can remember every date that they had sex with a woman?
Come on. Everybody know Bill Cosby did that, man. Come on.
Hey, ABL. Why do we
do a show on that tomorrow?
You want to talk about education? Why do we need in school To Kill a Mockingbird? Bill Cosby's wife.
Hold on. Wait. If Bill Cosby did all of that, you would also have to say Hugh Hefner did it too, because he was hanging out with Hugh half of that time, right?
He has a room at the Playboy Mansion.
Hugh Hefner stayed on the drugs, nigga.
Hold on. Wait a minute. I never heard any allegations against Hugh Hefner. Have you?
Why would you?
All right then.
He was hanging with Hugh Hefner.
But it don't matter.
This was Playboy bunnies.
It don't matter. You never heard anything about Hugh Hefner. I've been hearing about Bill Cosby since the 80s.
Never heard about Hugh Hefner fucking teenage girls
go to Brazil.
I've been hearing about Bill Cosby since the Cosby Show was on.
And he been hanging out with Hugh Hefner since before that.
Bill Cosby admitted in court that he used Quaaludes for women. Bill Cosby said on TV how he was spending his fly to get women to do whatever he wants.
Everybody doing that?
Bill Cosby has evidence.
Was he not hanging with Hugh?
Evidence of paying women.
Was he not hanging with Hugh when he was doing them things?
I don't know. Maybe he was.
He can't testify.
Just because somebody was hanging with somebody don't mean that they were doing the same thing that they were doing.
If you hang with a pimp, you gonna fuck some hoes.
Like, can you go to court?
I mean, that's a fact.
Can you go to court with that and be like, hey man, you know, I saw LAR hanging with the dope boy, so he must be a dope boy too.
Guilty by association.
So you telling me the white pimp get off?
What? Nah, I'm saying if you hanging with a dope boy,
gotta call him on.
They say, oh, LAR, he a dope boy too. Nah, you can't do that. You can't take that to court. Come on.
Why not? I'm black. You damn right they gonna take me to court.
So do you deserve it?
I'm gonna be El Chapo.
Okay. There's allegations against Roman Polanski for years, and you still got people fucking doing movies with him. There's been allegations of Harvey Weinstein for years. Like, you got to understand. Like, when the fucking, I know you know this.
Why is right?
My point is, as a marketer, look, I'm a marketer.
Roman Polanski fled the country. You should be in jail. So should Harvey Weinstein.
But they still went and did movies with him. Like
Okay.
you got to
Same thing with
gay.
Bill Cosby. People been hearing about Bill Cosby for years, but they were still working with him. And what's your point?
My point is, he gets a pass because he's white. What was it? What's the dude last name? Allen. Hell, fucking
Woody
Seventh
Allen.
Heaven.
Oh yeah, he was fucking everybody, kid.
The dude from Seventh Heaven. They still run his shit through syndication.
Okay.
And give you a black example, Nicki Minaj. Because Nicki Minaj's brother just got convicted of raping a 14-year-old girl. But because they still making money off Nicki Minaj, that same system does not rev that down people's throats until they start.
Nicki Minaj didn't do it. Nicki Minaj didn't do it. So I don't understand what you're talking about.
But if that's guilty by association,
Nah,
just
she didn't do it. That don't make no sense.
She
didn't do it.
Really, that doesn't make no sense.
Wait.
She didn't do anything.
Prove that bullshit. What's the dude's name? Mike Vick. Mike Vick didn't have the dogs. It was his fucking cousin. That didn't stop them.
That's different. That's different because what happened with Michael Vick. Wait a minute. So you talking on some stuff I know about because I know people that were involved.
People love their dogs.
Nah, I'm gonna tell you what happened with Michael Vick. Michael Vick, what he was doing was like bankrolling the operation from the outside, and it was on his property, and he knew what was going on, but he wasn't fighting the dogs. That's why he got locked up, not because he was actually sitting there with the dogs fighting them. It's because he was involved with it from afar. The dog fight was happening at his house.
What do you think about Kelly?
Hold on. So if you bankroll a situation and it happens at your house, you should be liable?
I said a few things there. He bankrolled it. He knew about it. It was happening at his house. That's 3 things.
So
I'm not saying he necessarily went to jail, but that's why he did go to jail.
So Hugh Hefner bankrolled it, knew about it.
I mean, they shut down the Playboy Mansion.
There's been allegations of that.
Hey, I got one better. What do you think about R. Kelly, ABL?
Oh shit! I know you throw that bomb.
No.
Come on, everybody know R. Kelly. Everybody know R. Kelly is. Everybody know R. Kelly messing with little girls for a long time. Come on, he was married to Aaliyah. He was married to Aaliyah when she was 15 years old. He was 27. There's documents to prove it. There's documents to prove it. I mean, come on. You 27, she's 15.
They already take him off Spotify.
Hold on. You do realize that only Delaware is completely banned to marry underage like that. The difference that R. Kelly fucked up in is you got to get the permission of the parents. And
the parents did not give permission. And she lied on the and they had her lie on the certificate that she was 18 when she was 15.
Okay, but what was her first single? Wait, what was Aaliyah's first single?
Was it 18 nothing but a number?
That's what I thought.
Nice one. That was a nice one, LAR. Nice one.
But what
ABL knew that with her.
I don't see the difference between a Hugh Hefner and R. Kelly.
I mean, where's the allegations of Hugh Hefner messing with underage girls, raping women, or something like that?
Of story like there's.
Where's the allegations? Point them to me. If you can give me some allegations, point to them about Hugh Hefner doing things like this, then I would concede. But if you can't,
I got a question.
You have no case.
Okay, guys, we're gonna make it quick because I got to get in the shower and get ready for class. So go ahead.
There was no allegations in Penn State until they happened. Like, and by the way, Fraterno got fucked up too, even though he didn't do shit. Since you want to talk about Nicki Minaj.
Fraterno knew about it and was like covering it up. That's why he got jammed up.
They never proved that.
Charlie Sheen was open about his stuff. He had HIV.
What did Charlie Sheen? Oh, HIV.
He had HIV. And he told them on national TV he had sex with women without protection. He still got his TV show.
But there wasn't no rape involved.
That's murder.
This nigga said you gave me a terminal ill. Look. Okay, I'm not gonna say about it. Okay, I can't.
Did any of the women catch HIV?
Huh?
They might be dead, bro. They might be dead.
Who caught HIV?
No,
he got they didn't. They caught Tiger Blood. They caught Tiger Blood. They didn't get
hey, LAR versus Usher. Look at Usher. See, this is the hypocrisy that I'm talking about, and it is what it is. I just call.
What about Usher? Usher didn't do anything.
I get what you're saying.
ABL, I get it. You know, brothers can't stick their dick in nothing. I get it, bro. You know.
Nah, I say do what you want to, but just don't rape nobody. How about that?
Okay, hold on a second. Let me read this comment. Liza Jean Williams. I really appreciate being able to hear passionate, different points of view. And in my opinion, we grow if we get to listen to others Thank you very much from Canada. No, thank you. Yeah, we do this all the time, man. Shout out to the bully. He comes through here, bullies people. But guys, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's say one final thing each person, man, because I got to get in the shower because y'all. These people don't know running these hangouts is a hard ass job. Like,
Yeah.
It's like you got to come up with the topic. It's like I don't feel like doing it tonight with these motherfuckers. You have to be up. Like the time that you guys are up in the United States, I have to do the show when people are in the United States. So that's the hardest part for me, being like 6 hours ahead. But I don't mind doing it because I'm trying to, whatever. So shout out to everybody. Thanks to my brother LAR Movement. He's here every day. I use his name for views. But let's start off with we'll start off from Clutch and then work our way to the bully. So Clutch, man, let everybody know where they can find you and all that shit.
For the moment, all of you can find me on my YouTube channel. I'm more of the kind of person who calls out the left and the right. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't play this red team versus blue team politics like it's Halo or something like that. So if you really want to hear something from a truly unbiased perspective, feel free to check out my channel. And for everyone else out there, always bet on X.
All right. Shout out to my boy right there. And LAR, where can they find you at, player?
LAR Movement on YouTube, man. So I got one more plaque than ABL and we chilling.
Not 2 chains, 2 plaques, right?
Yeah.
All right. Big Chris, man. Thanks for coming by, bro. You're in the Philippines right now, right?
Yeah.
That's big money, Chris, man. Let everybody know. Me and Chris gonna do a show tomorrow, possibly, man. Chris, let's just let everybody know briefly, man, like how long you out there for and everything like that.
I was out here 29 days. It's day 10 right now, so I got 19 more days, and then I'll be back in the truck.
Right. You guys know that's Big Chris at HT Logistics 3434. Big popular trucking channel here on YouTube. So he's done shows with me before, so he's a part of the trucking community. I want to thank him for coming on. We're gonna hook up tomorrow. Also, I got I Am Mara from Kenya, but he lives in Colombia. He's like one of my favorite YouTube channels. He's in Mexico right now, and he's just like a world traveler. So that's gonna be a good show. He's a really awesome dude. So shout out to I Am Mara. And who else do we got? The Mr. Long-Winded. Oh, and he won a trip to Brazil. Let me say that real quick, right? Man of Tomorrow was saying he would sponsor somebody to go to Brazil. And Edward did a great thing by building Obi-Wan a site. And so I emailed MOT today, and he said the guy who built the site should go to Brazil. So Man of Tomorrow is paying for good old Eddie to go to Brazil. I'm gonna pay for his visa, and I'm gonna buy him a lot of ass. So I already told him I'm gonna give him some budgets to go down and get some tricking on, because every black man needs to go to Brazil one time. Well, ABL's in a relationship, so he'll never be able to go. But you got to go down there. And not that I tricked, but a nigga like me was tricking down there. That looked like me. You got to do that shit at least once in your life before you die. Shout out to everybody know where they can find you at, dog.
Yeah, man. You all just type in Edward Anderson in the search thing, and my stuff will come up. You want to hear me go long-winded for like 2 hours, 3 hours at one time? I can definitely do that. Hitting a lot of topics. I am very humbled by that trip. I will take hundreds of pictures, and I got a lot of pictures from the Philippines as well. Shout out to Burgo Street, and shout out to Makati. If people have been here, shout out to Mall of America as well. And I will say this too, and this is more of a shot at ABL. I would pay $300 to see you and Tariq Nasheed debate, because I think that'd be
interesting.
Hey, I would love to. I would love to, but you know what? He has me blocked on Twitter. I ain't even really talked to him before, so you got to get that solved first.
He blocked you on Twitter?
Yes.
Damn.
Wow.
You like Thanos, man. You make all kind of enemies.
I never even spoke to him before, so I don't know what's up.
And just to be fair, there's this. I remember that HLN incident that happened where Tariq Nasheed got bum rushed for all them sisters, and it was with him and Yudit Tawilde, that lawyer woman that's always on CNN and Fox and stuff like that. Very beautiful woman. She's Etrian. And to be fair, I went through her YouTube, and she does have a lot of black male first talking points. She defended a lot of black men on a lot of things. So, and Tariq blocked her too, and that was on some BS. So sometimes friendly fire, sometimes friendly fire.
All right. So I want to see ABL versus Dr. Umar Johnson.
Oh shit.
God, that'd be interesting.
Man, I don't know. ABL ain't ready. I don't think ABL. The Umar is ABL needs to.
I'll save that.
Nah, ABL can't fuck with Umar.
Nigga, speak your
Especially when he got his dashiki on.
Yeah, because Umar is actually. Yeah, Umar. ABL has hard problems with academic type of people.
Not really. Nah.
Yes, you do. You have.
I mean, I'll tell you what's going on. Maybe it seems like they kind of like are going toe to toe, but it's not like I have the issue.
Yeah, no, you don't. I just think like okay, when I see like New Possibilities, Tony Macios, people that have like more of a political spectrum kind of background.
It's less of one-sided thing.
It's not what about on them, because New Possibilities, man, he had you kind of running up a hill, player.
Nah.
But ABL.
What about Boyce Watkins?
See, okay,
I probably would agree with Boyce on most things.
Yeah, Sarah Suit Steady. I think Sarah is different.
That'd be a good one.
Sarah Suit Steady ABL.
Yeah, I think that'd be a pretty good one.
Sarah
he like, you know what I'm saying?
Sarah Suit said he cursed too much and throw too many insults and shit during the debate.
That's why it'd be easy work for him, but it would be entertaining as hell.
Yeah, Sarah Steady. Hey, I like that. I like you motherfuckers every motherfucking time. I love Sarah Suit Steady, nigga. That shit, he's a classic. He's a classic. But I think maybe him debating Umar I think Umar would have probably maybe got that, because like I said, Umar is a little bit, I don't know, depending on the topic, because Sarah Suit is pretty good. But yeah, I like to see ABL debate Sarah Suit I'll pay money for that.
Rated Patreon.
Just do ABL versus the whole black activist community.
But him and Sarah Suit that would actually be what I would want to see more than that than Tariq Nasheed. I'd rather see Sarah Suit versus ABL. Because Sarah Suit gonna go crazy.
That'd be fun.
I love Sarah Suit Go Black Male Talk, man. Let everybody know where you at.
Yeah, guys. It was good talking with you guys. Black Male Talk. You can find me on YouTube. I talk about everything. Anything you want to talk about, you send us a question, we hit it up. I usually check out a lot of you guys, and y'all put out good topics. I try to just keep up in the race and just throw out my topics. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Black Male Talk, or you can hit me up on my Gmail, blackbrother123@gmail.com. Yeah, man, it's just a good talking with you guys. Like I said, it's all good. It's good to see brothers of intellect. We can all talk together, and we didn't have to throw out too many N-bombs. I ain't see no N-bombs being thrown out, so I take it that we have a high caliber of conversation. I think the only thing that ABL got over us is that he'll talk about a specific time and date, but he don't tell about, blacks, we were smart, but then you don't say that we were getting whipped. So it's like you'll leave that point out of the talk. But other than that, it's good talks. I do like that a lot. So yeah, that's it.
I'll reach out to I'm gonna reach out to Sarah Suit actually and see if he'll do a show with me. I think he probably would.
Go get Pastor Thaddeus.
Let's go to the last but not least, definitely. The bully ABL. Where can they find you at, player?
Hey, I'm the good guy, the nice guy, the guy that comes in and just wants to spread peace. I don't cuss at nobody. I'll try not to say
autism.
I try not to say anything like that. Don't get triggered. But it's just been fun. I just did my show a little while ago, so I've been streaming for like the past 4.5 hours, I suppose. I know O'Shea been doing the same thing. O'Shea like he about to go to sleep right now, but you gotta stay up.
You the people's champ though, bro. I got
so shout out to y'all, man. This has been cool. I appreciate it. Y'all tune into the
show the award.
Oh yeah, here go the award. Yeah, you see it,
man.
Shout out to O'Shea and everybody that voted for me for making this happen. Nice award.
He throwing that in our face too.
Hey, he asked me to do it. I'm just, you know what I'm saying, being a nice guy, doing what he say. But yeah, shout out to y'all. Follow me, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Anthony Brian Logan, and look out for the debate tomorrow on what's my man's name? Advice Show.
Yeah, Advice Show.
Robert Perkins. And that's all I got.
Oh, I just want to say one thing also too, man. So guys, thank you all the brothers, right, that support the show, supporting us on Patreon, man. I want to just say thank you guys. Many of you have really, invested in the super chat streams or the show, the Patreon content. So I just want to make one announcement. shout out to Kabilan Cartel. Go Instagram this guy, right? Kabilan Cartel. He is going to start being the photographer for NegroManosphere.com. So speaking of Hugh Hefner, we are going a little bit more that way. So we do got one, and shout out to Big Doug. We do got one photographer. So we will be featuring models rolling out once the content strategy changes in September. And so we're going like really into men's sites like calendars, females, interviews, Instagram contest page. Gonna get real sexy on these motherfuckers real quick. So I want to thank everybody that supports the site. Thank you guys for supporting. Giving black men a voice. Stuff like the fact that Anthony Brown Logan can come over here whenever he wants and just says, "Send me the link," and you know what I mean. We can provide our own people with our own awards, even though it's not much right now. The fact is, it is ours. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing where black people need to really get to the point where we don't have to be like white folks. I stole that from LAR. We don't have to have like the BET, not the BET, but the Academy Awards. The thing is that it's ours, right? And it's just getting started. It's going to get better. Like that's just what it is. Everything starts small. So shout out to ABL. Shout out to everybody who won the award on Negro Manosphere. Shout out to everybody who supports us, who reads our articles every day, who writes for us. We just love you guys so much. Thank you for giving black men a platform, a voice. Allow us to have all these brothers come through every day. We have guys that are millionaires that participate in this. We have guys who just don't have no money. We have dudes that have 200 subscribers. I've had dudes I've done shows with like Chris Jones that have up to 500,000 subscribers. So everybody comes through here. RB the Breakthrough, Sonnetter, everybody's they come through here a lot. So thank you guys for your for helping us. Really, really rally on this small channel. I've had people as much as like 700 or 800 on the topic. On this channel, it's only like 18,000 people. Anybody else want to say anything else today? Anybody else?
I just glad you had me on. I appreciate it, and I look forward to the debate tomorrow. I think when ABL when he goes on, it's gonna be 8:00 in the morning my time. So
yeah, I'm gonna watch that shit too. I might not even do my show until
I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna do my shit before that shit ended.
How did that even come about? How did that even come about with him and then Evasho?
Well, Evasho reached out to me. He just sent me an email and asked. So I was like, okay, let's do it.
Oh shit, they waiting for your ass.
Hey man, it's gonna be fine.
Oh man.
All right. So make sure you win, dog, because I got money on you. Because I don't want to have to overbuy. Peace out, everybody.
Peace.